What up, everybody? Long time no talk. This is the Low Budget LCS. I am Less Force, and we are back on the stream. We are in the playoffs. Joined with me, I have got Full Metal. How are we doing today?
We are doing wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited for this series. Like you just said, it is playoffs, and this is for commercial. So, used to be one of the biggest divisions we had. Now it's been slightly taken over by financial, but it's still one of our biggest divisions, and I'm really excited for this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been a big time fan of commercial. Taking a look at the chat, seeing who all we've got enjoying. Got a lot of rap fans here early. As I believe they might actually just be rolling right into draft, so maybe no time to preamble. There we go. We are live with the draft. Again, this is commercial. We've got Big Pharma on the blue side game one. They were the second seed in Group A, or second seed in Group B. TV Rat Lords were the first seed in Group A, or the fourth seed in Group. Can't talk. Been a while, guys. We're gonna warm up here. And this is the fun of playoffs. You see different groups. You're playing against the same opponents all season, and now all of a sudden you're dealing with a whole new cast of characters. So I'm pretty excited here.
Yeah, I am too, and I'll be interested to see what they draft. Now, funny enough, I have played against both these teams this season. One because they were in my group, and the other team we scrimmaged against them to train for these playoffs. So having a little bit of experience playing against these teams, I am interested to see where they put their priority, especially early on. Now, I haven't played against them this patch, and a lot of things did change this patch. This is, I believe, the patch right after the Worlds patch. So if any of you guys out there watch Worlds, this is the patch after that one. So the things you may see there, you're not necessarily going to see here, but it will be interesting to see what they first pick here on the Big Pharma side.
Yeah, doing a little bit of housekeeping in the chat. I see a couple subscriptions from Ferox and Lil Dear Lilia, some longtime members. You guys know the spiel. Won't go through the whole thing, but you're gonna knock them to the dumpster. Todd's gonna hook you up at the Denny's. We finally cleared out all the goblins. That was a big part of why the streams have been so delayed. Goblins just really just took over the Denny's. I still haven't actually seen Jack since we were supposed to do the booth. Not sure if he's okay, but Shen B1, believe that is a signature pocket pick for it's one of the poinkers. Lil Poink. This team has a lot of poinkers.
It does. I am interested to see that they didn't go with the Camille. That's usually one of their favorite picks. But they offer the Shen. I'm wondering if they want to put more pressure for their mid lane and for their bot lane and say, hey, listen, Shen's super strong right now. They're super tanky. And will mean a lot later on. It looks like Rattlers will bounce back with the Kaisa pick early. Curious to see what they go with it, and it looks like they're going to go with the Skarner hover.
Yes, Skarner, kind of one of those junglers. We assume it could be a flex. It could go top, could go jungle, technically could go support. But I do know that Skarner jungle is really strong at the moment. I personally haven't put too many games on it, but he's back after a little bit of a lull state. And then the Kaisa, another strong AD carry, just a lot of strong picks. Pretty good, I would say pretty good assessment of kind of the patch, what's strong, what's not, because all three of these champs are doing really well so far. We'll see Big Pharma take the Jhin, certainly a comfort pick. We'll have to see how they pile that into the Kaisa, which I think that's technically a counter. Kaisa can just R in on the Jhin, no way to get out, but in the lane it should be fine.
Yeah, I feel like early lane, the Jhin definitely has a bit more pressure. Kaisa a little low on the damage, unless she's paired with a super hard engage. Jhin can kind of just poke around, look for the fourth shots and back away. And it looks like we're going to get the Brand. That could also be a flex. The Brand could go jungle, mid, or support as well. So yeah. A lot of flex picks out here. Believe so, that is the Shen top lane though, and the Jhin is more than likely going to go AD. Also, before I forget, EJK9 has redeemed a bear fact. Les, do you have any bear facts on you?
So I've got a bear fact, and I've got a bear fact specific to EJK9, also known as Duolingo Owl, as we do have the Leona pickup in the bot lane. My bear fact is that despite Bear being a top lane exclusive player, doesn't know what Cho'Gath passive does. I don't know how you play hundreds and hundreds of games of top lane and not know, the simple things, right? I feel like he's probably played against a Cho'Gath at least once. But if you ask him, he's just not going to know what it is.
Does he think it's the ultimate? Does he think it has to do with the stacking?
I just genuinely think that he just just doesn't know what Cho'Gath does other than it ults. So
And
if you're playing against
some of
him,
the backups are pretty important to Cho'Gath playstyle.
yeah, that's my bear fact. We'll come stocked. You know, I'll pull up in the bag. That one was just off the dome though. Looking at these bans, we got some mid lane Prio coming out, the Vex, the Lux. One thing to note for the Rat Lords is I do believe their starting mid laner is playing support, at least for game 1. Not sure if it's the whole series, but they are swapped down as a little bit of draft shenanigans on draft lull. Okay, Bear just didn't like that bear fact at all. That's a little unfortunate. Not really sure what we could have done about that though.
Not sure either. It says they it seems like that's going to be a Syndra ban, but draft flow may not be able to let them actually ban it. It seems like we're gonna be paused in draft here, so we'll see what happens here. But it looks like if they're banning the Vex and they're banning the Syndra, I'd assume that Ratlords believe that the brand is going to be support or jungle.
So it sounds like the draft lull has broken on us midway through. We will see what they decide to do to resolve. We got up to that last ban on red side. Yeah. So.
Oh. No, maybe it's continuing.
Well, it just skipped. It just skipped R4. So they probably got to.
Well, no.
That's so strange. What on earth just happened?
We're back. We're back and going. It looks like we're back onto the Rattlers pick. They did get the cannon ban out. I don't know if that was meant to be. I will assume so. There's been no complaints, and it looks like Rattlers will counter that with the Dr. Mundo pick. Again, such a tanky pick, and does mean this Garner is more than likely going to go jungle now.
Yeah, a lot of beefy boys on the side of the Rat Lords. Brand loves playing into those beefy boys. We'll see what other AP picks have coming out here for Big Pharma. They've got the mid lane, and I'm assuming the support. I do believe the jungle for Big Pharma plays the Brand, and it's going to be the Akshan in the mid lane. Looks like that's going to be blind.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is that the Rattlords right now are pretty low on damage. You know, you have this Mundo that's super tanky, you have this Leona that's super tanky, you have Skarner who's been going a pretty tanky build, and all you have is like Kaisa, whose damage doesn't really get online until she evolves her W maybe and gets Rabadon's death cap, especially going the AP build. So I'd be curious to see what type of damage they want to pick through mid here. Are they going to make the Kaisa go, you know, some on-hit, you know, AD build, which seems to get a lot less play this patch? Or are they going to go some hyper AD pick mid lane? It looks like they're going to pick the Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe, not the most, you know, it does a ton of damage, not in the sense of like damage over time, but, you know, hit that bubble and hit the, you know, the R combo. That is exceptionally annoying to play against as Zoe. And you've got some pretty squishy members on the side of Big Pharma, so definitely a bit of a surprise pick. You don't really see Zoe too often, but that is going to wrap up our draft here. I will go ahead and set up the predictions. Of course, we have our gamblers in the chat. I know they're fiending. It's been a minute since they've had the chance to start a prediction, and I've got you. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, while you go for that, I'll talk a bit about the drafts. So, you know, on the side of Ratlords, you know, you have this Dr. Mundo going into the Shen here. Not too much of a fighty lane. I assume they're both going to be going Grasp here, just looking to armor up. We might see someone try and get up there, but it's really hard for Brand to really gank into a Mundo. I mean, Shen can take off the passive, sure. But Mundo can kind of just walk away, Q one of them, and keep going unless super pushed out. Again, with the Skarner, you know, Skarner can try and get it on Shen, but Shen will just, you know, QW and then eventually E away. So the lane that's going to get a lot of the pressure is more than likely going to be this mid lane. You know, this Akshan, this Zoe, love to fight. You know, as we were mentioning before with the R's, you know, trying to look for these picks and trying to look for this burst damage onto the Akshan, onto the Brand. So probably a lot of action in this mid lane. Like I said, it's just interesting to see this Kaisa more than likely going to be forced into an AD build. We haven't seen too much of it this patch, at least in play, but I'd be curious to see how they pilot it, and maybe it'll work out for them in the mid to late game.
Yeah, looks like someone on the Rat Lords had to pick up some new skin for this series. Wanted to come out looking fresh on the stream. looks like they're both ready, so we should be switching over to the pick ban any second, and there we are. Speak of the devil. Predictions are live. We got 5 minutes early lead so far for the Rat Lords. We haven't had a bet in quite a while. I want to see some Schmeckles flying. I know that, you know, big Schmeckle wants to cut inflation, you know, curb it, but I just want to see high numbers. I want to see the dopamine. That's really all that we are about. Caster compliment coming out from Bear TV. I simply can't handle this one. I think Full Metal, you might have to.
It's been redeemed specifically for you. I believe you must take it now.
Yeah, that's just a little unfortunate. Bear TV. You know, he's.
Want me to wait while you go get them?
How do I put this? His pedigree as a neutralizer in the top lane is truly one of the most pivotal skills you can have in a recreational league like this. You know, someone who they might not win your lane, but they're certainly not going to lose it unless you're Cassante and a Gwen, in which case you might lose it a little bit. No, in all seriousness, Bear is playing really well this season, especially for TV. Obviously not a cheeser this time around, so he is a little bit of an op, but no, great. And he's just like not liking it, so maybe I should just stop. No. Oh, another caster comment, but we've got one of my favorite booth members, Oh Hi Vega, in the chat. Yeah, I mean, Bear has done really well this season, to be fair. Yeah, so Vega, obviously doing great things this season. You know, we've rocking the booth for most of the season, although again, the Denny's got ran over. Had a little bit of a lull state there, but I've got news about the booth later. You know, and Milk's off to a hot start. Now, of course, again, this weekend, you're a bit of an enemy going up against the TV Rat Knights. But, no, great guy. Very fun to talk to. Really enjoy the trips to the booth. And now we've got Duck with the Gat.
You keep getting so many comments. You just gotta roll them out.
Well, and now we've got PP's delivery service, who is one of. I feel like I see PP's delivery service an awful lot in the chat, and I feel like they just kind of bring like it's like a chaotic good energy. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the things they say are really silly. Sometimes it's like nonsensical, kind of like their name. But they are a regular to the chat, and do appreciate the consistent attendance. I mean, I'm just
looking at chat here. They just want to keep it going. You got Sammy 2-slap next.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just like keep rolling with them, right?
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. I'm really loving this.
Now, Sammy 2-slap. I mean, I feel like I've definitely given at least one compliment to Sammy this season already. So hopefully it's not a repeat. Sammy, you've done great things this season as a member of the staff. A lot of the the roster tickets that come through, the real meat and potatoes that kind of let the LBLCS be what it is. You've done a lot of work on that this season. So definitely appreciate that. You know, you're obviously doing well in Econ. Off the top of my head, you guys are playing the Sperm Whales, if that's right. Hopefully, you know, Nefarious is able to defend their title. Won Econ last season, in a great spot this season. And yeah, hopefully that suffices as a compliment.
What a wonderful role. And what a wonderful way to start this off. Looks like we're gonna get in there pretty soon. So interesting to see what the lane startups are like. Looks like you finally get a break though. So as we load into the screen, with that, predictions will close. From what I saw, it was a 51-49 prediction for the Rat Lords. So pretty even among chat here.
Now I do see a couple of people asking for free compliments, and this is the problem when you go all in, right? You're supposed to leave yourself like a little bit of a safety blanket. You know what I mean? Like, I can't give out free compliments because then everyone's gonna ask for them. You know, we can't make exceptions here on the stream for the LBLCS. You guys might be cheaters in the chat, but today we are just rooting for some good old-fashioned League of Legends. You guys are rooting hard for Red Side, of course. Let me take a look at these numbers and see how we have bet. Like you're saying, it's about 50-50. A decent amount of Schmeckles on the line. Is EJK9 going about 10,000 all in. That's not, that's not
wow.
nothing.
Yeah, some chatters, that's all they get to until they lose it all. So, every smeckle counts. If you're not betting 10,000, just get bet it all one. Are you really gonna gain a lot? Yeah, you only bet like 1,000, 2,000. You're only gonna gain 1,500. But you get 10K, you're gonna get results. Thankfully we will have at least 2 games. I'm hoping for a banger series tonight. But we shall see where it goes. Will be interesting to see where the Smeckles lay.
Yeah, of course, you are a member of the commercial playoffs. You're on the opposite side of the bracket, so you're not necessarily watching as a potential competitor, but you are watching as maybe a somewhere down the road competitor. In a world where you guys make the finals, you could be going up against one of these two teams. Again, Big Pharma was really good during the regular season. TV Ratlords, they started out pretty strong, dropped a couple series, and I believe ended their season pretty well. So I'm expecting this will be competitive. I won't be shocked at all if this goes to 3, one direction or the other. I think there's a lot of good on both the comps. It's just going to come down to the name of the game, execution. It's kind of a cop-out, but it's just kind of rings true. How is Lot going to pilot this brand as that sole AP? You got a lot of beefy members on the other side. How is Zoe going to be able to pilot the Zoe? Again, kind of I would say a difficult champ. You got to be really on point with the drowsies, as we will switch over to the in-game screen. Hopefully perfect timing, and we will hope that it doesn't break on us. Spectator, client.
I do see the splash arts. Who was it that needed to buy the skin? Do you remember?
I don't believe that they mentioned who it was.
Okay.
As we should be in on the rift here. Thankfully, Spectator not failing on us now. And as is customary, we will go ahead and do the countdown here. We've got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let me know when we're in sync. Okay, perfect. 23. Here we go. Game 1, commercial playoffs. We have got a little bit of shenanigans going on here. 5 point on the side of the Ratlords, while it looks like a little bit of a split formation from Big Pharma. You don't usually... I guess it's kind of like a 5 point-ish. Looks like they're playing it safe.
Yeah, both teams kind of just stay on their line. Obviously, a little pushed out here with the Leona and Kaisa, but otherwise, everyone kind of keeps their own sides. Don't want to risk anything early. This is an important game for both teams. You don't want to start the series 0-1 going into the night, so both just having to play it safe. Not sure, if you go in with the Alistar, could the Leona just hold down your carry? So on and so forth. So looks like top lane will kind of be near each other. Be curious to see if anything happens when they try and go into lane. But other than that, looks like it's just the typical start for a league game.
Yeah, interesting things to note. You've got the Ghost on Briar's Toe Cleaner. Big proponent of Ghost over Flash. If you don't know him, loves to play those weak side tanks. Would anticipate we don't see a ton of JCB in that top lane, but of course they could prove me wrong. Looking at the side of Big Pharma. Going the Dark Harvest, a little bit aggressive, I suppose, on the brand. We'll have to see if they're able to get those stacks, as we are just going to have an immediate frack right here in the bot lane. Alice going to go in. Looks like the trade's actually going to... It's about 50-50, maybe slightly in favor of Big Pharma. And now we are just calming it down.
Yeah, not too much crazy. I would have, I would have been interested to see if Alice would have opted to use the Ignite on the Jhin, just get a lot of early pressure. Opts not to. Wasn't really able to get on the Jhin. Kind of just had to opt for hitting the Alistar. Other than that, though, nothing crazy. Might look for a level 2 engage from the bot lane, depending on how the lane state is. But it looks like they're opting to play a little farther back. Don't want to get hit by the engage from Leona. We'll take a little bit of poke from Kaisa. Otherwise, nothing crazy happening early on in this game. Looks like Brand is going to go top to bottom and probably look to do something in the bot lane early on. Same with the Skarner. So both teams saying, hey, listen, top lane is just a tank versus tank matchup. We don't really need to be pathing up there.
Yeah, that's just kind of the name of the game right now. A lot of the time you are just pathing top to bot, trying to contest around those dragons. You play towards the bot lane. No surprises there. Looks like they're both about even as far as their clears here. Both on, that multi-camp spawn, Wolves versus the Raptors. We'll have to see who has the prio in the mid lane, who has prio in the bot lane. Could see some early scuffling around the scuttle. And then top lane, we got a good taunt here coming out from Low Point, and a good W using the mastery on that Shen and coming out on top with these trades.
Yeah, it's really important to try and get the Mundo down as low as you can early. Obviously, Mundo will heal it back up, but if you can try and get Mundo, pressured a little bit back, it will help out in just getting some nice farm without being poked out by the cleavers. So good on Low Point to just get that pressure in. Knows that there's not really much else he can get, but getting the early CS lead and getting the warding down for the top jungle would be nice. With that, though, nothing else really happening bot lane. We have a little bit of a CS lead over for the side of Port on the Jhin here. Looks like both jungles will be down here, though. Chasey B getting here a little bit earlier. Might see a fight for the Scuttle Crab here. Looks like, No Signal has the pressure on the
Chasey B
Akshan
actually
for
for a
the mid lane.
gank, going to get the E out onto a Big Pointer, who does headbutt Pulverize. Able to get out of there, burns the flash, but didn't die. That's a big save there. And then meanwhile, Locke's able to pick up that bot Scuttle and is immediately booking it towards that top side. Maybe taking a little trip in the mid lane on the way. That's a one play for Big Pharma.
Yeah. The Brand sees the Skarner come up. I'm wondering if they're going to fight here. Looks like he will opt to do some damage.
Gets the 3-hit passive, doing as much damage as they can in return is Chasey B, but No Signal is here now as well. Trying to just poke him out. Might have to burn the flash, but now we're back in the bot lane. Good Zenith Blade onto Big Boinker, and that's first blood over to Super Oranges for the TV Rat Lords.
Nice. They just wait for the Skarner to go up. They find the Brand. The second they know the Brand's not coming down bot lane, they know that they can pull the trigger and force the play down there. Good heads up on the for their bot lane. They're able to put the pressure in and can potentially just hold the map pressure here to not trade away the dragon. Does look like the rest of the map will be stable though. I Drink Dilk just holding off, in the mid, was able to hold off the play from Locke and No Signal there with the Drowsy. So good on them to just hold the mid lane there and trying to keep their farm up as much as they can. But with the resets, I'm curious to see if they just try and force this dragon. But it does look like they will send Skarner and Chasey B up to top lane. They're going to send Alice there as well to try and force a four-man play onto the early grubs.
Yeah, definitely looks like they are prioing the grubs. Lots of teams have different philosophy. Hexflash coming in from Big Poinker, No Signal trying to get in as well. They are going to hit the combo, but the Drowsy connects and the flash in, flash away, does not matter. Huge play there on this Zoe and an early 2-0 kill lead for the Rat Lords.
Yeah. Doesn't really mind that the Alistar's going in, knows that they have the Drowsy on the Akshan, can look for the damage, and with that, they're just going to be able to get these grubs for free, I believe. I don't know if that TP is really going to stop much.
I love watching top as we see the Ghost and the ult get popped here on Briarstone Cleaner. Low Point doesn't have cooldowns. Can they get out here without burning the flash? They are going to taunt now. Briarstone Cleaner is running down Skarner, forces out the flash. Good trade there. And their reward should be the grubs, but you see on the bot side, Locke is lurking onto Super Oranges, who is pushed up, does not have their support. Can they get the trade down here in the bot side? Flash in from Port, does connect, forces the flash. Can they hit the combos? Yes, they can. Barrier gets popped. Not going to be enough, though, as that is a trade kill in the bot side. Heads up play there from Locke and company.
Yeah, really good call. They know they are not going to be able to contest these Void Grubs. Say, hey, listen, if we can catch this Kaisao, that's a huge shift in gold for our ADC here, and it means that we can trade the Void Grubs for the Dragon. So instead of just opting to go for the Dragon, they go right for the play. Does mean that there might be a little bit of a fight here, but again, Big Pointer on a good job by the Alistar, just pushed them away, says, hey, listen, I'm just going to protect my carries here. We're going to try and get Dragon. Looks like Alice is looking a little bit, does have the Zoe to help, and does have the Kaisa back in lane, so could be a fight afterwards if they stay too long.
Yeah, now we've got Chasey B down here. They're looking to maybe do a 4v4. Alice is going in, headbutt away from Big Pointer, but now they are kind of split here on the fight. Locke has to flash out. Shannar is getting popped over the top. This is going to be a 4v5, so you have to be careful if you are the Rat Lords. Big Pointer trying to do as much as they can. Curtain Call is popped there by Port, and he is firing onto these squishy members on the backside. Super Oranges goes down. Meanwhile, we've got Zoe just caught up by the Shen taunt, and all of a sudden this fight is turning the way of Big Pharma. Chasey B trying to go back in, does not have the Impale yet. These members are low, flash out, and that's going to be another kill over to the Akshan. 4-2 goes the kill count. Not enough in the tank to kill this Skarner, but that's a big swing in favor of Big Pharma.
They're low, but it's just not enough damage to get through them. Kaisa was just unable to really join the fight after losing both summoner spells, and with the TP on Shen, the Shen was able to just ult down, save the jungle, save the team from a fight that could turn sour, and then just TP's right up top lane to match the Mundo.
Yeah.
So a huge fight for them and a huge bounce back from the early game that was looking more so on the side of the Rat Lords. So good call by Big Pharma to try and force a fight onto the Dragon. They know that they chose the Void Gropes over, but they caught them out on staying too long. They were able to make a play and still catch the lanes.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those spots. I mean, low point on the Shen, one of the most, impactful ults in that early game. You hit a good R, especially in a spot where, Briar's Host Cleaners is in the top lane, not in a position to teleport down. And you can instantly turn those team fights and save your lane. You're not in a spot where you necessarily lost a whole lot. Yes, you gave over a plate to the Mundo, but based on how the rest of that team fight went, I think you are big chillin' if you are this Shen. And we'll see kind of what looks to happen as he's taunting in again. I feel like these trades favor the Mundo one-on-one. I don't know if you necessarily want to keep going.
I mean, it probably depends. I mean, fighting into the wave, not really good for the Shen. I mean, obviously both champions just want to get their grass procs off, so it's probably one of those things where it's like, it's not a good trade, but it helps my grass, so I'll take it anyway.
And that's so true.
But the issue is just the early game damage. Like, you have the Zoe damage, but if Zoe can't get these far Qs, Kai'Sa can't really pour that early game damage like Bran can. It'll be interesting to see if Rat Lords decide to play a little quieter in the early game, just to let themselves scale and get the health they need to survive the damage from Big Pharma here.
Yeah, I mean, Mundo up here on the top side has to be careful. Shen taunt could lead to a minimum, forcing out that R, if not a death. We see jungles on the opposite sides of the map, so both sides kind of have to be careful. And we'll see. Might have ourselves just a little bit of a lull state before these next grubs.
Yeah. Excuse me. I did take a little bit of a sip earlier this game. I know no one's popped in the I forget what it was called. The
It Takes Two. Well, they spent all their channel points on they spent them all on caster compliments.
Yeah, good way of using your points, by the way. If you're not one to gamble, you can still use our Smeckles for a lot of different things. So feel free to check those out. There's a lot of different rewards like the Bear Facts, like It Takes Two, and so on. So feel free to use your Smeckles. You will gain them as you watch. With that, looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a roam here towards the mid lane. Curious to see if the Big Pharma, they do want to try and stop the Void Growths from being stacked here. Looks like Skarner.
JCB going to catch out no signal. And that's going to be a big impale onto the action. So many members are here. Curtain Call is here, though. So, again, this is a bit of a numbers advantage for the side of Big Pharma. Locke going to pick up the kill onto I Drink Dilk there. Now, JCB has to try and find a way out. Does dodge away from the Jin W. Just getting knocked around. Silly. Going to tunnel their way out here, though. And now Alice is caught trying to protect their Skarner, but they might have been off more than Chew. Or maybe they're actually trying to just buy time for the Mundo to get here. Big Solar Flare that is going to connect onto two members, and now the Mundo is here running in the backside. Has that ultimate pop. They're doing as much as they can. Flash in from low point onto JCB. Kill onto the Alistar. JCB just able to get back to their tower, and now no signal is caught on the wrong side of the rift. Can they get away from the Mundo? The Blast Cone not going to do them any favors, but a big E there, and the reinforcements able to save them. And all the while, Super Orange is just powering away on this bot tower.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with the side of the Rat Lords is that they just have so little damage, especially with the Zoe being caught in the early part of that fight. The Impale just doesn't lead to much damage and much power in the fight. Thankfully, the Big Pharma team, the squad, they got a little too aggressive. They pushed that top jungle a little too far and got caught out by the Mundo coming back from lane. On their side, though, the Kai'Sa, like you said, did get a huge push out, and now Bax, this Kai'Sa that's been behind and been kind of out of these fights now has a Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, just had to tab over there. Pretty much back in even state of things with the Jin, so they certainly could look to fight this objective. Shen R is used. They did use that in the last fight, and Shen R, especially early on, has such a long cooldown that the Rat Lords could look to make a play here as the taunt comes through. Briar's Soak Cleaner getting super low. Does have those two giant belts. Should be able to walk this one off, but they're probably going to have to reset here and maybe give over some plates. Directed cam now taking us to the bot side where we do see the Rat Lord starting up this dragon. It is 3 members in the pit. Zoe up on the far side near the action. JCB going in towards this bot lane. Good pulverize going to stun up JCB. Solar Flare does connect onto the brand, but massive play there from Big Poinker. Alice gets caught out, killed by Port. killing spree there for the Jhin. Chasey B next to fall here. Zoe trying to do what they can, but it's not going to be enough. 2-0 in the favor of Big Pharma, and their reward should be the dragon.
Yeah, Zoe should be able to walk out here. Big Pharma just huge on the play. You know, the Leona Alice tries to get in, tries to hold them down. They're just unable to execute anymore on the play. You know, they didn't even need the Shinar, you know, I believe wasn't even used. It wasn't up yet, but it looks like Zoe is dead here in the mid lane.
It's going to be close. Does dash away. Tries to do the damage in return. Not going to be enough. Good catch there from Big Pointer. No signal. And now 8-3 goes the kill count, and 2 dragons over to the side of Big Pharma.
Yeah, a lot of the gold right now on the side of the Rat Lords is, you know, is this Kai'Sa with this
R gets popped up here by the Mundo. Not sure that Low Point's going to have the damage to continue, but Bryce Toe Cleaner is just going to run at them and make them fight. Think we're probably done here.
Bryce Toe Cleaner lives with the ult, you know, gets the Q off for the health regen, so is able to live out. Like I said, this top lane is just a tank versus tank. It does look like the Mundo will opt for the Heart Seal, so these tanks are just going to get tankier.
Yeah, I think Cygenesis called it out in chat really well. I think Big Pointer was absolutely massive, and they're doing so well on this Alistar. In that last fight, Chasey B did have the Impale lined up. I believe it was on the brand, but a massive headbutt away from this Alistar did deny that Skarner R from connecting, and it may have turned the fight. Right now, things are looking pretty good for Big Pharma. Again, they are the 2 seed in their group, while the Rat Lords are the 4 seed in theirs. So certainly, both these teams are in playoffs. They're both very good teams. Right now, the early advantage is in the side of Big Pharma. So the question is, how do the Rat Lords look to bounce back?
Well, looks like there might be a fight here mid. Locke able to get behind the Zoe could mean a fight. Leona is there, but it is a 3v2.
Good sleep there. Oh, Big Pointer gets the double headbutt pulverized. Ijung Dilk getting super low. Going to take that kill is the Alistar, and they're going to get out. Thank you to the Shinar.
The Shinar saves the day for the Alistar. Alistar able to live that out. Does mean that Mundo will be able to get this free pressure top lane, but Shen might just back and TP up there.
Yeah, this mid tower should be falling quick here. We've got the 3 grubs. They are going to lose that here in the end. JCB is coming in just to reinforce. And that's big. Getting that first turret cracked in the mid lane just opens up the game so much for you.
Yeah, it does mean though that Briar's Toe Cleaner does get the top lane tower on their own up top. So you gotta be careful. You don't want to let this Mundo go a little too far, because if this Mundo gets too hard to kill, you know, yeah, you have the brand burn and you have the Shin with the collector, but if this Mundo gets too strong and too powerful, it might be Rat Lord's way of getting back into this game.
Yeah, we've got those heart seals now in tow for both Skarner and the Mundo and the Shen. To be fair, we got a lot of heart seal action, which in my opinion is like the second most satisfying sound in the game. Only to that of Grasp of the Undying. Big fan of the serotonin that comes with those sounds.
Yeah, getting them both combined, it just feels wonderful. You know, you start off with only the grass, and then you get the heart seal, and it just combines together. You know, just one after the other. So no one has a stack yet, but it does look like there will be 3 heart seals. I'm curious to say, who do you think will have the largest heart seal stacks by the end of this game?
I'd have to guess it's Mundo. Cleanse, pop there by port, didn't quite get hit by the solar flare. Super Orange is going all in, but we do have a TP on the backside. Not sure if this is it looks like it's a double TP actually, and now they find themselves in a numbers disadvantage. Big pullback there from JCB, trying to keep this action out. Kai'Sa and Leona trying to fight their way out. Flash comes through from the Kai'Sa, followed through with the flash from Shin, who picks up the kill, and now the Mundo is here, and this is just full-blown chaos. 3v5 in the bot side. Brian Stokely going under the tower, trying to kill the action. He is a one-man wrecking ball. He is going to pick up the kill, but it is going to be traded in response. 2-1 is the kill count here as JCB trying to dodge that out. Massive damage from that Zoe. Not going to be enough to pick up the kill. Things are looking good here for blue side. They might be looking to dive. They might just be looking to get the tower. Hard to say. Big Pointer's thinking about it. He's going in with the headbutt pulverized. He's got the R, so he is chilling. Not going to see anything further.
I don't think this play is done. This Zoe's looking in. Does get the drowsy. Shen doing a good job of holding. I'm curious to see if they want to try and dive this Zoe. It looks like everyone will back out. Without the Alistar, it's a little tough to do so.
Good Drowsy. Drowsy there onto Lock. Do they have the damage? No, Direct Cam wants us to see the mid lane. That's okay.
They knew that there was no R on the Zoe. It was on cooldown, so it was going to be tough for Zoe to reach. So Direct Cam knew more than we did. It was a long fight. It does mean that there's a lot of gold on the side of Big Pharma here.
Yeah, a lot of farm, and again, we're just not even done with the fight. The fighting, they are just looking to go non-stop here. Briar Soul Cleaner is getting pretty chunked out here. They do have the Solar Flare coming up. JCB is looking to get in onto the Shin. Can they get in range? It's looking tough here. Massive headbutt pulverize again on this Alistar. Solar Flare does connect, but it does not get the stun. Super Orange is trying to do the damage that they can, but they are going to fall to low point, and now JCB is caught by themselves. Unstoppable goes this Jin, and the objective bounties are now coming live as we do see everyone up here by this Rift Herald. Probably have to back this one out if you are Briar Toe Cleaner.
Yeah, I don't know. The actions behind them, they might be caught out here.
Yeah, looking like he's just going to try and get what he can. Massive W there from the Shen is going to save their Jin, and now they are able to pick up on this Rift.
If the Drowsy can land on the Jin, maybe, but it looks like Alistar just opts and say, you know what, nope, you don't get to go near this Rift Herald. Good job keeping them away. And it looks like they're just going to go straight to the Dragon here. They have a low health Jin and a low health Brand, kinda. You know, a little below, a little above half health. So the all-in pressure of the Zoe, you know, if the Zoe can catch, could be devastating. But I think they're just going to have the Alistar, you know, stay in the bot jungle, keep them away, and they'll get the Dragon for free.
Yeah, and this is going to put them on Soul Point. So, yeah, obviously the Rat Lords, they can't fight this one. The jungler's not around, but they're going to have to find a way to fight that next one in about 5 minutes. We'll look to see kind of what Big Farmer look to do with this gold advantage. You know, start to push into the enemy jungle, take away camps, just get those small little micro victories.
Yeah, try and get all the gold you can get. Obviously, yeah, they're one away from Soul. They thankfully only have 3 Void Grubs, but I believe they do still have the Herald. Looks like Shelly will be paused and brought straight to mid.
Oh, JCB looking back here onto this Jin. Can they get a big impale? Yes, they do. They're trying to pull, but there is no damage follow-up, and the R came through from the Shen, so they are just pummeling this Zoe on the backside. Big Pointer just going under the tower, able to pick it up. Super Oranges does go in. Shutdown does come through onto the Skarner. And look at this flank coming in from the Mundo. He is running in. No Ghost, but he's just popping the R, and he's looking to run down these squishy members. And this is what we were talking about. The stun does connect, forces out the flash. Big Pointer likely to fall here. Big headbutt pulverize. This guy is killing it with those. Looking to just stand around, trying to do what they can. Alice going to pop, courtesy of the Shen. Unstoppable 5-0-4. And now Briar's Toe Cleaner, last man left standing, going to go down. 19-5.
The fight was so chaotic. There was 2 parts of the fight. There was one with Kaisa going on near the turret that looked like it was going okay, and then the Mundo on the flank forced to go down a little bit, trying to get that Brand, trying to get that bounty gold. But you have to realize this is an AD Kaisa. AD Kaisa can't function alone. She can't just poke out these Ws and try and gain the try and fight that way. So unless you're fighting around this Kaisa, it's really tough, your AD character here, to really duel on these fights. So with the split fight like that, it allows Big Pharma to just get the picks, run away, grab the stragglers while they get chased. Otherwise, you know, nice effort by the Rat Lords trying to get back in this game. Does get some gold into the hands of the Mundo. Obviously the stacking game, it does look like you're right. Shen is up ahead right now by a good 40 stacks. Will be interesting to see if the Mundo can really do much with that gold. But otherwise, it looks like the Brand is just running it with these fights and with these ultis.
And that's kind of the risk. You know, you run this kind of 3 big tank comp. Brand loves that as they are looking for a shutdown here. Good. Drowsy is able to connect. They stun him against the wall, doing a lot of damage. Does not... It's actually, they do have the impale. They might just be holding on to it, trying to save it for the last second. But Big Pointer trying to come back around the side. Little Point just able to survive so long here. And now the Zoe just gets popped courtesy of this Jin. They send the TP up from the Mundo. Yeah, it does stop it, but the cavalry is still looking, and there is a Baron on the table.
Yeah, and Axon is just getting a free push bot lane too. Does have the TP, but opts not to use it and says, listen, I'm just going to keep pushing down here.
Briar Toe Cleaner taunt does connect, and now they're all looking to run up onto this Mundo. Does pop the R, trying to do as much as they can. Kaisa trying to find an angle, but there's just this Alistar in front that they cannot get past. Mundo is going to pop. Do they look to continue this? They're looking. They are eager. They're just going to shove the wave and look to move away, potentially towards this Baron.
Yeah, it's just so tough with this big, beefy Shen and the Alistar in front. It's just so tough for Zoe or Kaisa to really do much of anything in these fights. Yes, Garner's able to ult someone and get the impale off, but there's just no damage follow-up right now. You have this Luden's Companion on the Zoe and this Kraken on the Kaisa, but it's so tough for them to really get going in these fights when you just have a Shen taunting your entire team with a Brand ultimate following the Jin ultimate from behind. it's really tough to fight these traditional 5v5s. So the Rattlers really trying to force here. They need to get a pick, and they need to do it fast, but it's just so tough if they do it onto a tank.
Yeah, we've got that dragon coming up here in a little over a minute. Again, you kind of have to make that call. Are you looking to, potentially lose the game, gamble fighting at that dragon, or are you comfortable giving over the soul if you are the Rat Lords? These are the things that, Chasey B, who, in the jungle, maybe Alice, the support role, they got to start making these calls for the team and decide kind of where they're going to look to fight that line. They're down about 9-ish K, maybe 8 and some change. It's certainly a doable fight, but the odds are against them. Blasco going to send Alice back the way she came, and we will see these top laners both have, Shen has the R, Muno does not have TP, so if they are going to look to fight this, Briar's going to have to start making their way down.
Yeah, what I'd be curious, if you know that you can't win this 5v5 fight, I'm curious if you just send everyone topside and just try and get the Baron flip. Because right now it's just so tough for them to get into these fights, to try and take them down. They just don't really have any tank shredding. Like, yes, you have this Kraken, but you're just not able to really pour it through these tanks before the Zoe's popped, before your one frontliner's popped. So, interesting to see how they try and pilot this. It looks like they've kind of given up all the map pressure for that dragon. Not really their choice, but they did have to give up that pressure. It looks like now they're just going to catch waves, and it will be the free soul over for the side of Big Pharma.
Yeah, it is going to be a Chemtech soul. Not the most ideal one to give over, but you can live with the Chemtech soul. Low point maybe getting caught out here in a 1v2. There is no Stand Unite to save them, but there is a teleport coming through from no signal. They have to try and fight this out. Chasey B actually going to flash out over the top, and now Mundo R does get used. Impale does connect onto the action. Do they have the damage to finish here? Massive stun there from the Leona over the top, and they're trying to kill this action. Stand United now coming through. Can they get the kill? No, they cannot. Port is able to get him with the curtain call, and then that is going to be the shutdown over onto the Mundo. They are trying to kill these guys all. Bless all of Big Pharma is here. Leona is going to be sacrificed. Kaisa is low, 3v4. We'll have to see if they look to do anything here.
Yeah, I mean, they try and force a play. They were able to find the Action, who is a good champion to take out early on in the fight. You don't want to kill everyone and then Action just bring them all back. But it's just so tough for them to really get a pick and get out. Because by the time they even kill the Action, the rest of the Big Pharma shows up for that Dragon. And now with the shutdown, the Leona and the Skarner, this is just a free Baron over the side of Big Pharma.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Chasey B is going to be able to get here in time. So it is just going to be a Baron over to the side of Big Pharma. We'll have to see how they utilize it.
Maybe
the Baron,
a Kaisa W steal.
Kaisa W, Super Oranges could look for the steal. Not going to come through. Is going to be picked up there by Big Pharma. Now, one good thing for the side of the Rat Lords is the Baron will be down when the Elder's up. So they could, if all else fails, look for a burger flip at the Elder, come away with the steal, and all of a sudden, it's a whole new ball game. But we'll have to see how they turtle this Baron. Yeah,
right now it looks like they have Briar's Home Cleaner bot lane. I don't think they'll be able to reach that turret in time to try and get that gold, because right now they are down about 11,000 gold. So it's really tough for them to try and bounce back here. They're just so behind on items, on levels even. So just trying to scrap for whatever gold they can get. It looks like Big Pharma will also just push out this mid lane, with the Shen bot lane, just try and open up the map even more.
Yeah, they're pushing out this mid lane, just starting to use those.
Ooh, good damage on Jin, though. That was a good Q damage from the Zoe here. Yes, Zoe is behind and is 1-6, but can still one-shot the Jin if found at a good angle and a good Q.
Yeah, have to be careful there on the Jin. Don't want to walk up near these towers, walk near the Zoe. We'll have to see where the Rat Lords look to make their stand. They give up the tier 3 tower. We do have the push coming through on the bot side. Unclear where Big Pharma are looking to migrate here. They could look to go the inhib. They could go top side. They could go bot. A lot of options on the table, and they're just waiting for the next wave to shepherd in.
Yeah, it looks like they will stay here. Maybe send Aksha on top. Looks like there's a bit of a skirmish. I don't think it's going to go into anything more. I think they're just going to pressure with the Baron to try and get both mid and bot here. Keep the Shen close. If you want to fight, you can. Obviously, the Shen does have the turret to worry about, but with them answering the Shen, I think they just get the inhib for free. Fight can still break out, especially if that turret falls.
This is do or die. Good Impale connects onto multiple people, but there's just not enough damage to follow it up. Chasey B trying to do what they can, does get popped by the Jin. one by one, these curtain call shots, picking them up. Double kill over to Port, 10-1 and 10 on this Jhin, and it looks like Big Pharma are just looking to end this game here. Alice and Super Orange is going to try and clear these waves as best they can. Double taunt under the tower, and that's going to be a full ace for the side of Big Pharma, and that's going to be game 1 over to the blue side.
Yeah, big game for Big Pharma. I mean, listen, they just had all the damage. You know, Team Volatility Rat Lords, they just didn't have a lot of early game damage. They took a lot of skirmishes that didn't go their way, which meant that the tanks on the 2 tanks on Big Pharma just got way too big, and the carries just got way too strong.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a look at that damage. look at the Shen damage there. That is quite a lot of work being done there by Lil Poink on the Shen. I do believe that is like their signature pick. So potentially it could be a ban coming out here in this next game. Of course, the Rat Lords do get side selection here. So we'll see if they look to keep on the red side, if they look to swap over to blue. We'll have to wait and see until we are in the next lobby. Chat calling out, a lot of HP stacking, but not a whole lot of magic resist. That Brand doing a ton of damage with the Liandry's, with the Rylai's, and overall pretty clean performance there from Big Pharma.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a reason why they're one of the top seeds, especially in my group. They're a tough match, and they play through their top lane, Lil Poink, really well. Obviously, still tremendous performance from Port and Big Poinker down the bot lane. The Jhin did go 11-1 and 11. I know we don't really see it with how much damage came from the Shen, but Jhin was still able to get a lot of these kills with that early collector, and was able to shut down and take out these maybe not the tanks, but take out the Kaisa, take out the Zoe. So it was really good play by them. Obviously, the Akshan, we didn't really get to see much of it because it just becomes a tank versus tank game.
And it looks like they have lined up nice and quickly here. They are on blue side this time. And so what we're going to do, as they are probably going to be taking a moment here to switch everything around, is we're going to hit the very professional switcheroo here. People get really mad if you don't do this before the game starts. So we are just going to do it before the draft starts. Go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
Switch over these names. Very, very high budget here at the low budget LCS. We got 0-1. Let me find that bottle fill up, and we got an It Takes Two to Tango. I think I did a lot of the compliments, so you might have to.
I'll take all the chugging. I'll take all the chugging. Thank you so much, Brooksider V, for the chug. I am drinking an Austin East Cider's Blood Orange Cider. It's been a recent favorite of mine. I do like ciders a lot. Trying to explore outside the realm of the Angry Orchards, if you will. So it's another good one. You can get these pretty much everywhere, at least on the East Coast. So yeah, thank you for the chug.
All right, we will pull up our draft lull here. Again, TV Rat Lords did decide to take the blue side here, so they do have something in mind. With that B1. What adjustments would you be making if you are on the Rat Lords? Again, you lose this next game, you are out of the season. It's a single elimination. What's your call here?
Something that shreds tanks and preferably early damage. I think the plays were fine. It just came down to that they just had no damage and they had no way of dealing with the tank. Something like this Zoe, yes, it may have worked in recent patches, but now these tanks are getting even tankier. Anti-heal isn't as strong. You have to go something that burns. You have to go something that can fight these early fights and try and make a difference for these early drag fights that a lot of these commercial teams love making. So I want to see them opt for more of these picks, opt for more of these shredders than these kind of like assassin-esque high burst. So that's where I want to see their shift go. But we will see, as draft is starting up here real soon. Like the graphic shows, it looks like it will change, so Rat Lords will opt for the blue side. I am curious what they want to first pick here. So maybe they want to take away the Shen, maybe they want to take away another, maybe take away the Kaisa, or just another strong pick from the sides of Big Pharma, take that away from them. So it would be interesting to see. I want to imagine it's going to be a first pick for the top side. Or maybe in the jungle, usually a tank pick, especially with how the meta is going. Can always see something like the J4 pick, like a Syndra pick even mid lane. That's a really popular pick this patch. So going to be interesting. Looks like they are having a little bit of issues with the drafts though. So take a bit to that to fix things up. Otherwise, thank you guys all for the first game. We will do the payout shortly. I'm sure Les is trying to do 1,000 things on his side.
Oh,
I'll
of
get
course,
to
the
you shortly.
we gotta pay out the gambas. Let me go ahead and
Every once in a while, it's good to get a reminder. That's what we're here for.
Big
Uh,
Pharma did win game number 1, so congratulations to those of you who bet on the blue side. Looks like Big Pharma ready for draft. I definitely think if I am on the side of the Rat Lords, I'm taking away the Shen. I think Low Point played it super well game number 1. It's their comfort, it's their signature, and they played really well on it. So I think it's just kind of one of those like respect bans. You have to take it away. Not sure they look to leave open. We'll have to wait and see if they even decide to ban it. Of course, they could just disregard everything I'm saying. Surely they're not watching. But they're probably talking as a team, trying to decide what's the best play for them.
Yeah. The only thing to know that at least I know from playing against them is that if you take away this Shen pick, you should be ready for a Camille. Because Low Point loves playing Camille, and let me tell you, it is a force to be reckoned with. So would be interesting to see where they go with that. Maybe they let the Shen go through just to not have to deal with that. I think that was even an option that we did as a team against Big Pharma. So it's definitely an option to go. So yeah, we'll see where things go. Definitely something to talk about. This series means a lot. This is playoffs. It's do or die situation. These are best of 3s into the finals, which is best of 5. So yeah, you gotta get this, get the lead, get the wins when you can. Big Pharma, obviously, they're in a more comfortable position now. They have counter pick, especially for that top side, which is where they'll probably put it. And they do have the 1 win, so they can kind of relax a little bit and play more casually, which usually does help players. But Big Pharma has lost with a 1 game win before, so Rattlers can pull this back.
Yeah, we do see draft starting up here as somebody accidentally left the lobby. A Moo still being taken away. Ratlord's not looking to give that one over. Nothing changing too much here so far. Again, we'll see if that Shen goes away, if the brand goes away. Honestly, maybe the Alistar goes away because there's something about Poinkin. They were just on their game. Rumble getting taken away again from Briar Stoke Cleaners, the Fiddlesticks, all same bands that we saw last time.
Yeah, it seems like nothing changed. Maybe it was just the side. Maybe it is just these picks. They don't really need these counter picks, but they just want to early pick. They want the stable picks. So will be interesting to see what happens here. Looks like we will see a Poppy ban. To me, it's really interesting because I never know if that's a Poppy ban for top, jungle, or support. Because it's just played everywhere nowadays. So I want to imagine it probably is a ban for the support. Looks like Ratlords will opt for the Shen ban. So would like to see where where Big Pharma goes with that. And finally, we will see Sejuani ban. So what will Ratlords take? And it looks like they will hover and lock in the Jinx right away.
Yeah, Jinx, again, very strong. Goes that that lethality-ish build. A little bit of the flavor of the month. Can certainly do a lot of work. We know how strong Jinx can be in these games that are so, kind of team fight centric. Going to be a Seraphine Hui pickup, not locked in, and now it is double AP coming through here from Big Pharma.
I'm trying to remember if that's. I want to imagine that's a Hui mid and a Seraphine support, if I remember correctly from when I scouted them. So will be interesting. It could always be Seraphine Hui bot lane as well. Would be interesting to see what Rattlers want to do. Jinx is a little bit more damage, especially in the early game, compared to the Kaisa. So I'd love to see something that will help the Jinx get those kills and get those shutdowns. So it looks like it will be Rel, which will help Jinx a lot in at least starting these fights, holding them down, and getting these fights in. To follow up with Jarvan, which is a really well-rounded draft for Ratlords to begin with.
I really like the Jinx Jarvan combo. I think, sets up, the Super Mega Death Rocket so easily. So does the Rel, one of the best engaged supports in the game at the moment. I personally love watching Rel. I love a lot of what the Ratlords are doing here. And there is the Camille that you were talking about. A little bit of that scouting, that pre-existing game knowledge coming out here as is going to be picked up there for Low Point.
This does put a lot of pressure on the Ratlords. Obviously, with the Jarvan, the Jinx, the Rel, they want a team fight, and they want to go in and force these fights. But the Camille, the Seraphine, the way, Big Pharma is saying, listen, we don't want to fight you. We're just going to poke you from afar. We're going to run away and shield, and we're going to let Camille go play another game and win the game over there. You know, it's like that one version of chess where you and your buddies are playing in different games but can send pieces over, but Camille is just sending turret gold over. So it would be interesting to see what the Rat Lords want to do to try and counteract this. Are they going to go someone who can just clear the waves and try and get Camille off, or even match the Camille? But it is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely some tough questions have to be answered here for the Rat Lords. We do see the Scion taken away from Briar's Toe Cleaner. His signature. We'll see if they take another ban, because that's kind of the benefit. You pick your top lane on R3, and you can ban away two things you don't want to play against. They take away the Scion, and they take away... Timing was almost perfect there. Going to be the Luck. So they're going to pay that respect ban. They did that last time. Paying respect there to I Drink Dilk.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. You know, without the Shen, without the Mundo, I'd be curious to see what Rattlers want to go into this Camille. Obviously, you will get one more champ. I imagine Big Pharma is just going to pick their jungle here. That way they can still kind of keep their flex options open. So it looks like it will be a ban from the Vex. Rattlers probably assuming that the Seraphine Hui is going to be the bot lane duo. Maybe, maybe not. So they banned the Vex anyway because it could be a huge counter for the Route and the J4. It looks like Big Pharma might just go Nocturne, turn off the lights.
Yeah, they're currently hovering it. Haven't locked it in. Nocturne, very strong, and it is going to be locked in. Has a dive buddy in the Camille. Could look to wreak some havoc. You know, set up those E flanks come through on the Camille. Set up the Seraphine R's. Looking like we're just going to be picking our solo lanes here for the Rat Lords, unless we're doing something very, very funny with the Jarvan. This is interesting. Picking up the Kennen. Kennen Nocturne is a combo that I personally love a lot. Typically, though, you know,
it can match Camille okay as well.
Doesn't work when they're on different teams, unfortunately.
It kind of can catch the Camille as long as it's not too far behind. You know, every time Camille wants to go in on you, you just kind of just zoom away and then just throw a Q back at her. So could be the counter to Camille. I've never personally seen the matchup, but would be interesting to watch. Finally, on the last pick for the Rat Lords, it looks like it will be a Kled lock-in. So it's going to be Kennen mid, Kled top. Interesting.
Thank you for the 10 seconds there. I appreciate that. Yeah, Kled for Briar's Toe Cleaner. I would say it's like a pocket pick. Back many moons ago, I played on a team with Briar's Toe Cleaner, and they did pull out the Kled on a couple occasions. Kind of, you know, putting on the gauntlets as we have the Galio Camille Nocturne combo. That is scary on the side of Big Pharma.
With those Seraphine Hui bot lane just to delay, catch waves, and just play safe. It's going to be two games going on. It's going to be you're trying to catch the Seraphine Hui and hoping the Nocturne Camille doesn't find your Jinx first. So I feel like this is going to be a really scrappy one. I think this is going to be a lot of fights, especially when 6 gets up for Nocturne and Galio. We're going to see a lot of just Nocturne flying around the screen here. So Big Pharma, little scary. Rattlers have a big thing, you know, if they can get the Shinx ahead, maybe even get the Kennen ahead. I mean, listen, if Nocturne and Camille are behind, and the second they choose to go in, you just Kennen R them and just hold them in place. There's not really much they can do. So it would be interesting to see. Rattlers have a bit of a tough game going into them. They have to win here to continue on and keep playing. So might get a little greedy on these early games. Love to see them fight for these early drags more and not just give it all away over early game to Big Pharma. Does look like they have more damage now on their team, especially in the early game. So excited to see these early fights.
Now both sides said they're ready. It's just a matter of wait. There we go. Sometimes, you know, you say your R, and then the person who's like in charge of starting the lobby just doesn't realize that they have to actually hit the button. Yes, him the guy. Thank you for answering. Big Pharma, now on the red side here. They won game 1. So if they win this series, they will be moving on to the quarterfinals in this commercial bracket. 16 teams, a lot of teams in playoffs. Everybody in the playoffs is a good team. These matchups get that much harder. So for the Rat Lords, you gotta do or die here. You lose this game, your season's over. You win this game, it's a best of one. A lot of opportunity here for the Rat Lords, and I gotta be honest, I like a lot of their comp. Like I said, I love Jinx Jarvan. I love, I think the Kennen. You gotta play aggressive into this Camille. You can't just sit back and do nothing. But it's just gonna come down to how do they deal with the Kennen or the Nocturne, Galio, Camille, tops. We're assuming it's top side. Technically, the Hui could go mid and the Galio could be support, but I think that's your top side, and that's gonna be really hard to deal with around those grubs.
What I'd be interesting to see as well is if you know the Galio's going to go mid, does the Kennen and Kled just swap? Because realistically, Kled or Kennen can kind of lane into Camille. I think Kennen has a little bit of a better shot. Obviously, I think the Kled Camille is a little more skill matchup, and I think the Kled can just keep afar. So obviously, we see the Kled is locked for top lane. But I'd be curious to see if they need to swap lanes here at any point, just to try and change up the pressure a bit here.
Yeah,
you don't really see lane swaps happen in commercial, but it's interesting to theorize.
Well, I mean, you sometimes see like the mid laner go top laner go mid, stuff like that. Definitely, and then it is gonna be the Galio mid as we kind of expected. I feel like Kennen is a little more susceptible to the Camille if I had to guess. Again, you don't see a ton of Kennen, so it's been a while, but the Camille has the hook shot. Kennen does have the E to try and get away, but I feel like Kled almost kind of prefers if the Camille just hook shots in on top of him. Then you can just kind of pale on him with the passive W. We'll have to see if that actually works out that way.
I'm just thinking if you're Kennen, right? The second Camille tries to go in on you, right? Even if she lands it, like you get your autos off, you Q her, and then you just stun her, and then just like zoom through her for damage, get a little bit outside of her range, and then just poke her down, and just go phase rush on her, and then just chase her away. So Camille's kind of forced into like she has to deal her damage fast before you just zoom away. I think you're right though. Obviously the Kled does have the W damage. The only issue is that once Skarl is dead, Kled is in a really bad spot into that lane. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, last game, they kind of fell through in the early matchup. So it'll be interesting to see what they do early game this time. And if they can hold off against this huge dive comp that Big Pharma have put together.
Yeah, some more good analysis coming out from Cygenesis. I agree. I think the global focus from Big Pharma is going to be really tough to deal with. But it's kind of like a two-sided coin there, right? Like, the Rat Lords have to be good about navigating into it, but at the same time, Big Pharma have to be good about executing it. Nocturne Galio, harder than it seems, right? Like Galio has to hit their R at the right time because otherwise they're just not going to end up where the Nocturne ends up. Camille has to be hook shotting in at the right time. There's a lot of I don't want to say it's a super high degree of difficulty, but it's not as simple as point and click for the side of Big Pharma, as we do have our spectator delay, and we got a couple more minutes on these Schmeckel bets. Right now, there's some money to be made on the side of the Rats.
Yeah, Rat Lord is definitely the minority, probably just in regards to how Game 1 went. Like I said, I think Game 1 went so poorly because of the draft and such a low damage, which is solved in this draft, which I am happy to see. And I'm happy to see the Jinx. I'm happy to see the Kennen that does have a lot more early game damage, can fight with the Jarvan really well in these skirmishes. So although as much as a big global damage that Big Pharma has with all these ults, their pre-6 is really weak. This Nocturne, yes, has a spell shield and can kind of chase, but if you can get on this Nocturne and take them out early, and maybe even get on this Galio, put them a little bit behind so their tankiness is a little delayed, it could mean early grubs and early drags for the side of Team Volatility Rat Lords.
Yeah, It's going to be interesting to see what Chasey B. I think kind of a lot of the tools are in their tool belt, and it's up to them how they want to go about playing this game. I think they've had a really good season for the Rat Lords, playing a lot of these engage style champs. Jarvan, certainly a playmaker that can do that, but also really values getting that early farm early. You want to get to that Eclipse, assuming that's what they go first. You want to get that as soon as possible, and then look to make a ton of plays. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this Jarvan. I'm going to keep my eyes on this Nocturne and seeing what each side wants to do.
I'm trying to think about it. If the Rattlers are able to get the grubs, you do have really strong split power on the Ken and Kled, and you really do need to deny them from the Camille. So we're probably going to see an early roam from the Rel up to the grubs, maybe even with the Jinx, because you really don't want to leave Jinx alone in the lane. Granted, I don't think Hui and Seraphine really have kill pressure on the Jinx, at least solo. So we'd love to see them go for the early grubs like they did last game and then just convert that into more. So we'd love to see that. We'll see that we are going to game in 40 seconds, so get those bets in now if you haven't already, and we'll get underway soon enough.
As mentioned, we are in full swing of our commercial playoff series. I might have jumped the gun a couple seconds, but that's okay. We will wait for that to switch us over. Yeah, we haven't had a ton of playoff games so far. One thing I've noticed this season is we have been like very heavy on the weekends. I think, again, even in playoffs, we've got like 10 games on Sunday. I think almost every financial series is being played on Sunday evening, as we are on to the Rift here. Back on the stream, again, this is a leak. Tomorrow, we are doing a playoff booth episode straight in to a booth quadcast. Not announcing the series we're doing just yet, but keep an eye out in the announcements tomorrow, as that's going to be a banger of a day. It's going to be a very long night, but no one else I'd rather do it with than the booth, as we do see a little bit of a 5-point again coming out from the side of TV Rat Lords. Seraphine's a little low or slow coming out of base, so they're not quite there, but it looks like we're not going to have too much action.
Yeah, a little bit of poke, but nothing else. Maybe an early back, but otherwise looks the same as last game. I mean, it's really tough. Maybe Rat Lords can force something with the Rel, and with the cannon lockdown, but they opt not to. They say, hey, listen, like if they see us first, the Seraphine Hui are just gonna burn us. So, good call on them. Just play it safe. They let the Jinx back, heal up to full HP. It looks like we'll have the same start as earlier. Things to know. This Hui they have 3 TPs on the side of Big Pharma, so they really want to play the map this game.
Yeah.
Does mean no barrier though, so could be a way that the Rat Lords kind of look to get an early kill. Yes, Big Pointer does have exhaust on the Seraphine, but if you're able to burn it, there's no cleanse. So if you're able to get in with the Rel and ignite, maybe an early kill angle there. Otherwise, nothing too drastic. The Camille did opt for the aggressive Ignite TP. Most Camille's, especially when you play them a lot, you don't really need the flash. You just go over walls anyway. So interesting to see where we go with this.
As we do,
it looks like JCB might be looking for level 2 play here on this bot side here. Yeah, they get behind him.
Looking to loop around. Does the Nocturne sense that it's coming? JCB is looking to come behind. Direct to Cam doesn't want to show us. That's going to be a flash in. JCB, can they hit the EQ there? Saving it. Big Pointer, they do knock him up. Kill. Try to give it over to the Jinx. Cannot give it, but that is going to be first blood over to the Rat Lords. And topside, we see a massive fight. And this is what I was talking about. That Kled, such a crazy champion to fight into, has that Scarlet just about to come up, and JCB is still sitting around, and he goes back in, Port has to flash away, but the Rel still connects, and that's going to be 2 kills over to the side of the Rat Lords. Aggression coming through huge here for JCB and company.
Huge call from the Rat Lords. They noticed, hey, they don't have a lot of defensive spells, and Seraphine wasn't able to pop the exhaust, so both of them fall, and this means a lot of gold and a lot of pressure over to the side of the Jinx. Yes, one of the kills did go over to Jarvan, but Jarvan's more than happy about that. I think Jinx is too, getting one of those kills.
No signal going in here, and this is a little bit risky here coming out from the Nocturne. You can see them looking to invade because Jarvan spent so much time on the bot side, but Jarvan's full, has that long sword. Looks like they're going to be able to just take the blue buff and get out, so shouldn't be getting punished too hard here, but might not have much of a fight around the scuttle. Very interesting jungle pathing we've got early on.
Yeah, trying to punish them for going for their bot lane early.
All in here from no signal. Kennen getting super low, has to flash away, does survive, but that Galio CC into the damage is quite obnoxious, and they're just going to have to give up this farm. Flash in from the Galio, not going to be, and that's a multiple tower shots. The Kennen might just be able to pick up a kill here in response. Doesn't want to risk it, and they should be able to just
something to say though. Galio might look for an E again. Ken and Q misses. Looks like both will just opt to back.
They're playing a little bit of chicken here. Not going to go in. I'm not sure if that would. Yeah, I'm not sure that was going to stop it, but
I don't know if it's.
Oh wait, they're
really
actually look at Jarvan. JCB is coming down.
Yeah.
They're trying to stop the reset. Oh, not going to be able to fully stop it though. And now Briar's Toe Cleaner has to E away.
We're gonna check this bush. They now know. I want to say that was almost more worth it for the Galio because now you've pulled the J4 down here. Yes, it's in favor of for these camps down bot lane back to the not so safe lane down here, but did buy a lot of the time, did force a delayed back from the side of Kennen, so Galio will be able to get a little bit more pressure now in the mid lane. Very scrappy here early on.
Yeah, definitely not methodical coming out here. Jarvan looking to make plays happen, and it looks like they're trying to make another. Rel goes in. Alice is able to hit up the W. Do they have the Q? It is able to connect onto the way. Does not have the flash. JCB looking to go in. Exhaust comes out onto the Jarvan. They should just give this over to the Jinx. That's going to be an early 2 kills, and Super Oranges is looking to take over this game. JCB says, who needs camps when you can farm enemies?
Yeah, Bradlord saying, hey, listen, our issue last game was our early game. What if we just flip that around, give two kills within 5 minutes right to our Jinx? That's going to be an early item and early pressure for the side of Ratlords. Huge heads up by them to take what part of the game is valued for them and really make value out of it. Looks like Seraphine will try and stay bot lane to try and hold this wave for the Hui. It's just so tough, though, because now you're half HP. You're not going to be able to contest versus Dragon, even though Nocturne is finally making his way down here. And it looks like Jinx is going to get that back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough spot. This bot lane's certainly going to be playing on the back foot here for a while with the early advantage Jinx has. Nocturne could look to go for the Dragon here. JCB is around. Q is going to hit from the Nocturne. E not going to stay on the tether. And might just see this trade of objectives here.
I don't know if they can really go for Dragon. I think they're just going to get the Scuttle and probably back because they know the Rel's going to be on their way soon. They know that Jinx is back with a huge item lead over the way. It looks like Locke will opt to start the Dragon. I would be curious to see if the Ratlords just give this away.
We'll have to see. Trade up in the top side. Hook shot going to pull them back in. Perfectly timed there on the Kled. Conquer is stacked, and all advantage is on the side of the Camille, so you have to be careful. This Dragon is getting low. This could be super dangerous if the Jinx looks to come over, but they are under the tower. A little bit slow here on the move. JCB looking to go in for the steal. Is going to steal it, and now the flashing from Alice. Galio are coming over the top. They just need to get one Jinx reset, and this could be a whole one fight, but that's going to be 2 kills over to the side of Big Farma. Flash out from the Jinx. They get the Dragon, but they give over the kills.
Yeah, Jinx trying to farm and trying to force a level 6 to have that ult for the fight, just unable to do so. Did get a lot of gold farm, but sadly, Ratlords are forced to give 2 characters over for a Drake. Don't know if it's truly worth it. It does give gold back over to the Galio and does help Hui also catch up a little bit. Good on them, though, for trying to force these fights early and trying to force these objectives.
I think one good thing about that play, though, is that you do get that Galio R out. And we saw early game on the Shen. Same thing with Galio, as we see another trade up here on the top side. Might have the Hextech Ultimatum coming through from the Camille. This is going to be a 1v1. The Ignite is taking Skarl, doing its work. Unstoppable actually going to run this one out. Going to run right into the arms of the Nocturne, but this might not be the fight that Locke wants to fight. JCB is here, does not get the EQ, but they are going to flash away, and no flash, no Hextech Ultimatum, all this lack of farming. Alice is up here trying to connect onto the Camille, does hit the Q. This damage is going to be enough as a flash in from Port. So much talk of points. Jinx goes down to the way in the 2v1, and we are still even in kills here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was great for JCB to try and catch out the Nocturne, unable to land the flag, but is able to pick up the Camille. The issue before, like I said, is that if you send the Rel for Grub, it puts Jinx at such a spot. You know, I wasn't sure how they really got the engagement.
Oh, and Briar Stokely just diving under the tower. She might be able to pick up the kill here. Paranoia, it does get the kill. It goes in. He's going to be able to get out. Camille might look for the hook shot, but they are going to lose their wave if they look to do so, and that's going to be Grubs over to the side of the Ratlords. So despite all the frag art, as no signal, so low in the mid lane, both objectives going over to TV, and that is definitely a good sign.
Yeah, they're getting the kills when they can. The Jinx are just missed on the Galio mid lane, kind of halfway through that earlier fight with the Kled there. like I was saying before, you can't really leave this Jinx here alone because the Jinx will just get caught out by either Seraphine or Hui and kind of lose all the lead you got on that bot lane to begin with. Good on them for getting the kill onto the Nocturne, from the Nocturne over to the Kled. Good, you get the objectives, but you gotta make sure that you're still funneling through this Jinx you gave this early lead to.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Dragon coming up in about 2 minutes. We'll look to see if TV looks to fight that one as, again, top lane been going about pretty even. Briar So Cleaner's going in for the good trade. Does connect onto the Q, and the hookshot is already used. JCB is here. Hextech Ultimatum to buy themselves some time, but a Cataclysm in response. Can they give over the kill to the Kled? They're actually just going to take it on the Jarvan. Don't want to risk it there. And 3-1 and 2. JCB making plays all over the map.
Yeah, you have to be careful. They do have the Galio up. Looks like Galio will opt to go in. Nocturne not up for a bit, though. And it looks like they will just, probably hold all their ults for this next drag fight. So that's the thing, though, right? Is that a lot of these early fights were before the lights.
Rel catches out the way coming up. Does hit the double W. Can they look to pick up a kill? Good kiting here from Super Oranges, but they are getting so low from this AP, and they are just going to go down to that Huayar. 6-5 goes the kill count.
Yeah, so much damage on the side of this Hui and Seraphine. They're able to just poke them out, get them low, and catch the Jinx out. And without having Locky, it's just so hard to keep the Jinx alive. With that, it will allow Locke to have a little bit of pressure in this jungle. Might be just chilling, trying to figure out if they can ult bot, if they can ult mid. Right now, they're just chilling, probably waiting to see where the Jarvan ends up. Looks like Alice will try and force something.
Mega Death Rocket does connect. We don't have R on the Jarvan, so not enough there. Nocturne now walking out towards that bot side. Kennen has to be careful here mid.
It was a flash out of the Seraphine, so...
Paranoia comes through. Good flash there immediately from the Kennen, able to get out. And that's a big cooldown down just before this Dragon. Jarvan will have R. Nocturne will not. Going to be a little bit of a tough fight here. You have the Jinx flash coming up too.
It was a really good flash too, because you don't really know where the Nocturne ult is going to go. But a good heads up says, you know what, I'm the one that's going on. I'm the one that's low. I'm the one that's over push. Flashes without vision and gets out to safety.
Got about 20 seconds on this Dragon. We see Nocturne up on that top side. Jarvan down here, so they might just be looking to concede it. To be determined. Right now, the TV Rat Lords have the prio for it, as Jarvan looking maybe onto this Galio, but instead they are looking to just fight top and get this Kled. 1v2 trying to do his work. Low point going to be able to pick up the kill, and can they catch this Hui out in transition? Zap does connect onto the Hui. Traps not going to land. Gonna just look like a Dragon for the kill in the end.
Yeah. You gotta try and trade the Dragon fast too. You don't want to take too long and end up just giving away the Voidlings for free. So if you get this fast, you can try and rotate to mid. Do know the Galio ult is still up, the Camille still up, and so is the Hui. So, though they did lose, a little bit of pressure there, they still do have a lot of the ults on the side of Big Pharma for this fight.
Yeah, and now we see Locke just invading on this top side, just taking away camps they can, trying to keep this Jarvan down. Of course, Nocturne, one of those champs that loves to farm Jarvan. All the kills they're getting means they haven't been farming necessarily all that much, but Locke might be in a little bit of trouble here as Alice is around, does have the Magnet Storm, and we could see a big fight around these grubs.
They weren't able to find the Nocturne before they got out. This will be a 3v3 potentially, maybe even a 3v4. Camille does have TP, opts to use it.
Kledar comes through, and that's going to be a teleport. Massive play here. This is such a split fight. Nocturne, Galio, so many members are split off here, and Cataclysm does connect onto the Nocturne, followed up by the Galio, and now the reinforcements are here for the side of the Rat Lord. Split fight. Rel looking to go back in potentially with their W. Hookshot does connect onto the Rel. Gets out. Can they survive here? Ooh, EQ comes back over the top. Hextech Ultimatum catches onto the Kled, but they might just be killing themselves here. Oh, but the Hui. Double kill for Port. Triple kill for Port. And all of a sudden, that fight looks really good for Big Pharma.
It looks so well for the Rat Lords. They just stay in there a little too long. You have to realize the Hui is able to TP. The Jinx cannot. So it looks great at the beginning. They stay a little too long. They had already used all their cooldowns. They used all their ultimates. But the Hui is able to just burn you if you're in a line there. So big play by Port, able to TP up there. Maybe a turret for the Jinx, but it looks like just not enough damage there. Yes, Jinx is able to get a lot of soul XP and a lot of gold there. But this way is 6-2-1 now, and this is going to be a lot of damage you have to deal with.
Yeah, they're looking to try and get this shutdown. Fear's already been used. Do they have a way out here? EQ does connect. Cannon trying to run in here. They are trying to go all in and get this shutdown. E is going to connect there. And that is going to be a shutdown, but a triple Seraphine R. Galio R over the top. Jinx is here. Can they look to continue this fight? Super Oranges doesn't have the peel here. Got to be able to dodge out from that taunt, and the fight does end there. That is a massive victory for TV.
Yeah, and that's a huge shutdown as well that went over to the side of the Kennen, who hasn't really gotten much this game, is down in CS and hasn't gotten a kill. So that's going to be a huge buy for the Kennen. And this is a lot of pressure that they will try and convert over to the Rift Herald. You have to be careful, though, because you still have this Nocturne nearby who's about to get their ultimate. So if you let this fight go a little too long, it could turn disastrous.
This looks like it's a 5v4. Wei doesn't have the teleport, and they're looking to just go all in on this Camille here. Wait for the rest of the team. Does not matter. That is going to be a kill. That is a kill over to the Jinx. Now they are excited, just trying to run down the members of Big Pharma. Rift Herald is still aggroed. Do they look to continue this? They're trying. Jinx does not have mana. Dragon or Rift Herald going to be a bit of a 50-50, is picked up by the TV Rat Lords, but now the Way is here. Briar's Toe Cleaner is out, does not have the Scarl, should be dropping here. Another kill over to the Way, 7-3-1 now. That looks like it'll be the end.
Yeah, they just had to get that Rift and get out. They do have to trade away the Kled there. Otherwise, really good play on them. They did get the pick that they needed, take out the Camille. Did get the objective. It looks like they will have to give tier 1 here. Should hopefully not be too much more. Jinx R does go through, just hits the Way in the face. Isn't really phased by his full health, so not really gonna do much damage there. Rat Lords, you know, they're fighting for these objectives. Yeah, they are down 2K, but they're in these fights. These fights are not one-sided. I mean, as long as they're fast and they're able to get these picks, you know, this Camille, you have put her down quite a bit. She hasn't even gotten a turret off you. This Nocturne is not
Alice
really
walking
doing
into
much.
the wrong side of the Rift. Traps are used there. R is going to catch the Seraphine. Immediate cleanse, but the Paranoia onto the Jinx. Does not have anywhere to go. Way picking up another kill, and now Kennen coming in over the top, trying to get a massive R on the backside. They are able to connect with the Kled. These guys are all locked up here, and Cataclysm over the top. Onto the Way is popped. Low point stuck in the Rift as well. Hexagon Ultimatum as well, and that's going to be another kill. EQ over the top. Double kill over to this Kled, and that ends up pretty solid there. All things considered, 2 for 2, and not a big gold swing there.
Yeah, like you said, the J4 Kennen combo is just so big. They use everything to get the Jinx. It leaves them so vulnerable to the Flag and Drag, and then the Kennen follow-up. You're able to make a huge play happen. They're dropping the Shelly. I don't know if they're going to be able to get much of this turret down. Looks like they might.
Oh, Kennen doing a lot of damage there. Yeah, gonna have to walk that out, and that's gonna be a turret destroyed on the bot side. This mid turret is low, and Galio or Nocturne is getting killed by the Super Mega Death Rocket, and that should be Soul Point coming through, or putting them on Soul Point rather, as there should not be a contest here from Big Pharma.
That was a huge Jinx hole. I don't think that was on Vision. I think that was just pure guess where that went. Looks like this Way, though, does do a lot of damage. All that missing health on Jinx is from 1 QW. So gotta respect it still. They're doing an excellent job, though, on getting on these carries. As you can see, the second they get on this Way and they take out the Way, there's just not much damage on the side of Big Pharma with the Camille down, the Nocturne far behind, and, you know, Galio just going a full tank build. The second you take out the Way, you're winning these fights.
And that's kind of one of the, I don't want to say the problems with Big Pharma's comp here, but you have the Nocturne, the Camille, the Galio. They all want to go in on this Jinx. But that means that there's nobody really left to peel for this Way, who is so strong, has that Seraph's Embrace, has that Horizon Focus. But when everyone else is going in, you're kind of left to your own devices, and this Kennen doing a ton of damage. Jarvan has these Cataclysms, has Port's number with them. And so this Way, you know, they kind of get out their one combo, and then they're hoping to stay alive.
Yeah. Now they do have the Seraph's Embrace, so the Way is going to be a little tougher to kill. Which is nice for Big Pharma, you know, is a sigh of release. But still, they have to try and take out this Kennen before the Kennen just ults your entire team. Looks like there will be a bit of a skirmish down bot. Nocturne will be used.
Paranoia comes through. The Fear still connects, and Kled is going to go down. Kill gets over to the Galio, and that's going to be bot turret here. Nice little play, and they might be looking on the top side to look to answer.
Yeah, I don't know if you're really going to be able to get in here. You do have the Seraphine there. You do have Kennen coming a little far away, though. They opt not to use the portals to get behind, so I think they're just going to answer the pressure here. But you don't really have anyone to answer the pressure on bot lane. So Galio is able to free pressure this as well. Nocturne just taking all the vision that you have in the bot lane. There is no paranoia, so I don't think this Jinx is going to get dove or killed in any way. So it is able to catch that. But it's just so tough for Rattlers to really get pressure on this map.
Oh, the EQ max range doesn't quite come through. Cannon stun does connect onto the Camille. Have to be careful here on this Jarvan has those Merc treads, but this is one fed way, and it's a little different when you don't have your teammates.
Yeah. Right now, Rattlers just have to try and find our pick on this way if they can. Maybe on the Seraphine, just to stop all that healing. They don't have any heal cut, and there's not really a way to stop the shielding from her. I don't think anyone on their team will build the Serpent's Fang. So if you can get to one of those two kind of squishier characters, that is huge, especially to get Jinx excited. Otherwise, looks like the lanes will kind of go back to normal. Everyone's just going to catch the side lanes, catch the farm, try and get a little bit back in gold. Gold lead is on the side of Big Pharma, despite the 3 drag lead that the Rattlords have, mainly because of, I want to say the turrets, and just the farm, really. I don't even know if it's the turrets. Looks like they do have one more, but it's mostly just on the farm itself here, mainly on the side of mid lane. So, interesting to see where that'll lead. Otherwise, the next big objective is going to be the Baron spawning, and Drag's not up for a little bit.
Yeah, gold lead in the side of Big Pharma, but if as Little Point just gets a solo kill, I Drink Dill just going all in under the tower, and they're actually going to reset here, not look to push for this tower. I think they could have gotten that. But what I was going to say is if the Rattlords can pick up this soul, that really kind of undoes a lot of that gold lead. You know, the soul's worth about like 4,000, taking all the dragons into consideration. So really at that point, the game state should be really even. And even still, I mean, it just comes down to getting that one Jinx's sight. You can get that reset on Jinx, and the team fight's won for you, right? So I'm looking at this Rel, I'm looking at this Jarvan. Kennen has the flash up, so I'm looking for all these guys to work together, get that first reset, and win the team fight.
Yeah. And like we just said, with the Kennen being, 2-0-5 now, 1-0-5 before that, with the Camille being behind the Kennen ahead, it's so easy to match this Camille. This power play forward to the side of Big Pharma usually is this Camille able to split, just unable to do so into this Kennen and this Kled.
Yes, Kennen doing a lot of damage, doing really well here as they are going to get dashed in on by the Camille, but like you said, they hookshot in, immediate stun away. We got Dragon coming up in a minute. Teleports are active for both members in that top lane right now. Alice maybe getting caught out here a little bit, does have to W away. They're nice and beefy. They'll be able to get out just fine. Lot of flashes, everything on the side of the TV Rattlords. Every flash, all the summoners are available, so we should see one hell of a fight here at this Dragon. See who makes the first punch.
You also have TPs on both sides for the Camille and the Kennen. It looks like Camille will use it first. Will the Kennen stop it? Kennen's unable to. Will the Kennen TP? Not yet. It looks like they're trying to hold off on it. Maybe
Paranoia, Seraphine are all the reinforcements she used to kill off the Jarvan. And now Kled coming through trying to save them, but they are actually just going to have to walk this one right out, and they might still die in the process. Have to flash away. Kennen's able to pick up this top tier turret, but they will not be able to pick up the soul as all 5 members are down here, able to deny.
They might just get this and try and take tier 2. Looks like Rel and Kled are kind of playing around it, not really sure. I don't think they're really able to go in here or try and get a pick. It's just
they're looking for the steal with the Jinx, not going to be able to connect. And the teleport did come through from the Kennen. Oh, it's very smart there from Port. I was just going to say Kennen might be sitting there trying to wait around. Oh, good W there from the Rel. They have 2 members caught out here. There is no encore. And Big Pointer looks like they're going to be the first to fall here. Get the reset for the Jinx. Now going to be able to pick up the Scalio. And that's going to be a 5v3 on the map. Do they look to go Baron here? Looks like they're shoving out mid, maybe getting this mid turret, and then Jarvan is pinging that Baron.
Looks like they're gonna take this mid turret and just go right over to it. They've got to do this fast. You need to do this before the Galio gets up. Galio does have TP and has ult. It's a little tough because Nocturne is up, and I believe Paranoia will be up by the time this Baron gets too low. So you just have to be careful. Do you wait for Paranoia to proc and then try and fight, or do you try and burst it before Nocturne decides to go in?
10,000,
Looks like
8,000
Paranoia
on
will be
this.
up.
Camille's going over the backside, low point, trying
It's
to
gonna be
flank.
tough.
There,
You're gonna be
yeah,
blind.
Jarvan's getting chunked out here. The Way are going to do the work, and Nocturne going to finish it off. And they have to get off this Baron, and now it looks like the Kled maybe caught out. The E not going to finish him off, but the Way will Hextech Ultimatum into the Kennenar. Jinx is going to end up getting the kill, so 2 for 1. But now you're in a spot where Big Pharma have the numbers advantage, and they could look to go onto this Baron.
Yeah, it might be a little tough, only because you do still have a TP on the Kled and on the Cannon. I think they're going to opt for just the Scuttle. They do ward. Maybe they do start it. They go off the Scuttle. They want to burn it as fast as they can. If you're going to do it, it's got to be now. I don't think Ratlords even know.
Yeah, Ratlords might be unsuspecting. Pings are coming through here. They now have an idea. Jarvan not going to head out that way. They don't think that they have the contest here. Just going to be giving over the Baron, and Jinx just going to get that push on the mid lane.
I don't think they know they're on it because Kennen looks like they're going pretty far, especially if they think that they're on it. If this Kennen shows, they might just turn for the kill. Looks like they will ult it back. So Kennen is safe for now. Huge play by Big Pharma to just go for that, knowing that they have the vision control and knowing that Ratlords just can't contest, especially seeing the Jinx mid lane.
Yeah, ultimately going to be the Baron takeaway. We'll have to see what Big Pharma look to do with this. Of course, Dragon up in 240, so the Baron won't be around for that, but they could look to get a lot of work done before that comes up. This top tower could be quick to fall here. It is just a tier 1. You don't want to lose the game over defending a tier 1. We see Nocturne on this top side. We see kind of this 1-3-1 at the moment. Waves are in a kind of a bit of a tough spot. As Galio goes in here, does get hit up with a stun, though, right away.
Yeah, it's just so tough for Ken to really do damage into a Galio. Did look like Galio did go for Lich Bane, so not as tanky and is mostly armor. But still, Galio just being Galio, it's really hard for Ken to really try and force a kill there. Does have their team coming up. Obviously, the Nocturne able to catch them out. Does just back away. Galio, knowing well, does back away as well. And now you have the issue where Camille's just getting a lot of free farm and a lot of XP bot lane. You're going to have to send the Kled here. Maybe you can take the fight, but the Camille is getting stronger by the minute.
Yeah, looks like Ratlord's trying to defend this mid wave. They're trying to deny this push as best they can. So far, no towers have fallen from the Baron, although this top tower should be falling here right as I call it. That's a bit of a caster curse. But if you're just giving up one tier 1 with the Baron, you will certainly take that as the Ratlords. You have Soul coming up in a minute 20. You have the Flash and the Jinx. You have the Cleanse. Alice trying to clear out this vision, but might pay for it with their life. A lot of poke coming through here. Let's
get the W off and can get away. So good on them. So would be curious they try and dive here. Kledar is coming out. A little short though. Won't reach anyone, but does force them away.
Yep. Just going to have to call that one off. You got the Kledar coming up pretty quickly. Should be up for this next dragon. Again, if TV can pick up this dragon, it will be their Hextech Soul. If not, it will be 2 over to the side of Big Pharma. I don't feel like they utilize the Hextech quite as well as TV. You know, Jinx, the Hextech Soul is a little bit silly. We do see that tier 2 mid going down up to about a 4,000 gold lead, and now the reinforcements are coming over.
Yeah, it does look like we have a 5v4 bot lane. You do have the Galio ult. Galio choose the portals. A little bit of skirmishing here and there. Maybe Jarvan will look for a flag here onto the Seraphine. Not really able to get in range here. Maybe if the Seraphine walks a little too far. Galio just pushing top for free. Does have the TP. So it'd be interesting to see if they try and force a play here. Big Pharma does have the vision though, and knowingly backs up. Camille, last one to leave, does have the easiest time getting away.
Jarvan is here, gets jumped on there by the Camille. Hextech portal going to be canceled, and that's going to be the reset. But look at this Cannon on the backside, just gets onto these carries, and Port is just getting popped by the Cannon. This play is going huge for TV. Hextech Ultimatum locked up the Jarvan. That is going to be a shutdown. They are able to get the jungler, but can they continue this flash in from the Kled? They're just going all in. Hextech Ultimatum traps in the Kennen, but this fight looks like it's going the way of TV. Just get that Jinx reset. Super Mega Deathrock does connect, and Lil Point trying to do what they can. Alice over the top. They are able to lock him up. That is a full ace for TV, and that should be the Hextech Soul.
Huge fight for Team Volatility here, getting the kills that they need, able to convert it over to the Drake. This will get them Soul, and this will be so much pressure that they've been dying to get. They've been having so much trouble in these recent fights with the Paranoia coming through, the Camille able to get through and lock in. But huge fight for them. The Cannon really pulls off well. They get the Hui, they get the Seraphine, which means that they can just pile out the fight that they want to. They're able to close in on the Camille, and huge fights for the side of the Rat Lords, and they're able to turn this game back around for them.
I drink Dilk with a potentially season-saving flank there onto the squishy Hui, squishy Seraphine. I was talking about it earlier. Everyone else wants to go in. There's nobody there to save those squishy members on the backside. That is Hextech Soul, and that gold lead has shrunk to 1,000, which at this point in the game isn't really that big a deal when you've got a Dragon Soul in your favor.
Yeah, it's definitely more favored for the Rat Lords here. Granted, you do still have the split push power, but this Camille, like I said before, it's just so tough. This Kennen is 4-0 and 9 and just has so much damage that you can't really get on top of. So it's really on to Big Pharma now to say, listen, like, we can't let them keep flanking us. We can't let them get to our carries like this if we're not able to just one-shot them. You know, the Nocturne not too far ahead, does have Stride Breaker, but isn't really able to kill the Jinx this fast. The Camille is not really able to survive when they get in, especially with the Rel holding them down. So it's really tough on for Big Pharma here to try and push through them.
Yeah, Locke looking to come up, steal the Raptors, earn those little victories, taking away some camps. Might have ourselves a bit of a lull state here until this Baron is up in 45 seconds. Again, you don't have the teleport on the cannon, so they are on this top side, while Briar's Toe Cleaner does have it, as does Low Point. So probably going to look to see a TP play here, but right now the vision, the setup is in favor of Big Pharma.
Yeah, they're trying to use the previous Baron push to try and just keep pressure on this map. It will be tough with the Hex Soul on the side of the Jinx, on the side of the Kennen, who are just able to clear these waves so fast. Excuse me. So we'll be interesting to see where they go with this. You know, you still have this Hui who still pumps so much damage. If you're able to get a fight where you can get the Hui damage onto the Jinx, onto the Kennen, and pop them early, it could go well for them. But right now they're just having so much power, so much struggle getting to those carries.
Big thing on that Hui for Port. Does have the Zani's Hourglass now, so could buy themselves the time as Alice able to get onto the Seraphine here, and that's going to be the R popped just onto the Rel, though. Do they have the damage to follow it up? Alice is getting chunked out pretty low here, has to run this one out. Teleport comes through from the Kled, and they could look to just pop their R right away. Gonna play it safe here. Rel is very low, but now they are going all in. The reinforcements are trying to run at them. Not gonna be able to connect it, though, and that's gonna be a flash in from Jarvan trying to get onto the backside, and they're gonna get onto the Hui, who does hit the Zanyas. They can't get the Kennen in there, though, and that's going to be a kill onto the Seraphine. This fight is so chaotic. So many members falling. It looks like it is going the way either side. Jinx is reset, though. Jinx is going so excited. 3v2. Paranoia goes onto the Jinx. Flash away. Nocturne trying to kick him up, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to be a double kill. Triple kill for Super Oranges. And now JCB trying to get this kill onto Low Point, and that's going to be a quadra kill for Super Oranges 27. And they look like they're just going to try and end the game.
I didn't know who was winning half that fight. It looked so well for the Rat Lords. They had such a good engage, and then the lights went out, and it looked like Nocturne was going to go crazy. Sadly, though, isn't able to kill the Jinx, who's just able to keep excited and take down the rest of the Big Pharma, and it looks like we will have a series on our hands. Big Pharma falling over to the side of the Rat Lords. Rat Lords bringing it back will make this series a 1-1, and we are fighting for playoffs.
We've got ourselves Game 3, our first stream of the playoffs here in Commercial. TV Rat Lords bounce back after game number 1, going into game number 3 now. It is a best of 1. Win this game, you move on. Lose this game, you're heading home. Absolutely massive series here, and I am so excited to see how this game number 3 goes.
And big payout to those who voted for Rat Lords. Like you said, I think it was like a 14K to 20 some odd or 30 some odd Smeckles for Big Pharma. So huge payout for those betting for the Rat Lords. And good eye, you know, they had such a huge team fight. This Kennen on I Drink Dilk just going off so well. So many fights, just able to get onto this way, get onto the Seraphine and shut them down. It's just able to bring them so many one fights in that game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this damage here as I am well, maybe we won't have time. The Cannon doing a ton of damage. The Jinx, the Kled did a lot of sneaky damage, as we'll actually just hop right into this next lobby. Take a look here, and once again, we are swapping sides. So once again, we will pull up the We'll wait until we get the draft link.
A lot of things handled. We do have to get the draft going. I'm interested to see. Now, I'm not sure if Big Pharma did have a series after ours, because I believe their series against us was their last one as well, if I'm not mistaken. In which case, we were able to bring it back from 0-1 in the beginning. So it might be a little bit of flashbacks for them. I want to see Big Pharma obviously bounce back from this. Obviously, you know, the Camille split push didn't work out very well. But like we saw in the first game, Big Pharma were able to fight these early fights really well when they had the damage and the team comp to do it. So I'd love to see them bounce back over to that original comp idea that they had game one. Would be interesting to see what side they pick. It does look like they will choose blue side. So could potentially go for kind of the tanky side on the top and just go the damage pumping on the ADC in the mid lane as well. So love to see what they're going to switch up for this game.
Yeah, once again, we will take this time to switch around all of our pictures, all of our names. Again, check, it's very mad when you don't do this. So, TV Rat Lords will be on the red side this time. Big Pharma have elected to go over to blue, and we'll have to see what adaptations they look to make. Could see that Kennen get taken off the table. Could look to see the potentially the Jarvan. I think had a lot of impact, as they might actually just be... No, they are not ready. We've got time.
Okay, we got time. So with the time, we've got a comment for him, the guy, which I will take, and then we've got bear facts that you can take after if you'd like. So him, the guy, I've been facing you nonstop every single season in playoffs. I'm excited to do it again when our next game comes up. Him, the guy, is the mid laner for High Alert's team in commercial. They are also in the playoffs. No, you have to take my comment. You're gonna like it, the guy. You have to take it. Big Nefiri player. I actually learned how to play Nefiri by watching him play it. So huge shout out to giving me a bunch of free LP last split. Greatly enjoy it. Like I said, great guy. Love chatting with him about different mid ideas and about the game in general. And really excited to face you again.
Yeah, and it's almost like, you know, he said he wanted a compliment from me, but it's like almost just perfect that as the op, I couldn't even grant him that. And it wasn't even me. You know, you took that away from him, and I appreciate that. That's a play on words there. Also had a bear fact with bear. Well, we had a real bear fact with bear cashed in, and then we had a fake bear fact with bear cashed in. I don't actually. Let me see if I can scrounge up a. And the interesting, the interesting thing is that every bear fact is a little different from interpretation. You know, some people do like bears the animal, some people do like bears the football team, some people do like other kinds of bears that probably can't talk about on stream. Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Whoa, Caster roast. Actually. That's a good point. You know, chat, the people at large have been looking for new ways to cash in the schmeckles. You've seen the Popoba waffles are pretty expensive. Maybe we could look at a chat roast. I mean, I'm not the best at delivering mean things to people. Whoa. Now that just like doesn't fly there in the guy. That is clearly doctored.
It looks like he's just a redeemed caster. So him actually just redeems that he just gets a caster, I guess. So I guess one of us just had to go over to him after the series and just be a caster for him. There wasn't anything with it.
Yeah, Cass is day to day. I say like Cass is like day to day life. You know, he pours the bowl of cereal. You know, wakes up. You know, all the fun morning activities. It's like
what is the whole life of him?
Just play by play.
One day stream of just play by plays for everything he does.
That'd be awesome. Looks like the teams are just chatting a little bit. Again, we said the importance of this series, this match. This is the final match for one of these teams this season, so they're taking their time. They're trying to make sure they have a solid draft plan coming up here. Looks like, and of course, once again, as soon as I bring up the fact they're taking their time, they are ready for drafts. I will let them know that streams are, and hopefully they can go.
Looks like draft will be starting here. Right as you say, we have to wait, as always. So be curious to see what bans are we gonna see. It looks like Big Pharma immediately banning the cannon. There is absolute respect for this pick. Ratlords piloted it so well. Big Pharma just doesn't want any of it.
Yeah, taking that away, definitely think you have to pay that respect. Again, we saw it with the Shen on TV side. This time, Big Pharma. These aren't bans you typically have to throw, but you have to adapt to the way a series is going. Speaking of which, if I'm a TV fan, I still think you got to ban that Shen. Did a lot of work. We see the Fiddle being banned out consistently. Fiddle and a Moo. We'll see if that third ban changes. Rumble's been taken away every game. And we'll see what each team has left in their bans.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Big Pharma want to first pick here. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Shen game one. Obviously, you banned the Shen and then you had to with Camille. You did well into the Camille. Granted, it was because of the Kled and the Kennen you had. So curious to see if Ratlords are like, you know what, we can deal with it. We can still pick Kled. Kled is still up. So, but you just gotta worry because they may hold on to the pick for top. Big Pharma does have first pick here. Looks like Shen will go out, and Big Pharma will opt to hover. I want to say pick here, but right now they're just hovering the Ashe.
Yeah, Ashe, super reliable AD carry. You can play. Has a relatively strong early game. With that harass, with the slows. Has that massive utility with the hawk shot, with the enchanted crystal arrows, and it is going to be locked in. Now the question is, do the Rat Lords look to pick their because you assume they pick AD here. Do they match with the support? Do they pick an early jungle? Last time we saw TV on the red side, they went Skarner. Curious to see what they pick up here.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they try and take away a Braum or something that pairs really well with the Ashe. Looks like the Rattlers will opt for an Ezreal. I don't know if I've ever really seen a Braum Ezreal. It's happened very few. Looks like they will hover the Knot, one of my favorite characters, and it will be locked in.
Now that does run the risk, though. They could look to go Ashe Braum, which I personally think is a really strong bot lane. You have the double slows. You have the concussive blows that can get procced really easily for the Braum. We'll see.
Yeah, plus Sejuani's still up, so you can just go triple Freljord.
Yeah.
Definitely Freljord synergy going in.
Unfortunately, and I do think that League maybe would benefit if they did. Like how TFT has those like synergies. It is just going to be the Alistar, though, which we saw. I keep mixing up the pointers. I think it's Big Pointer in the support role. Did massive work on the Alistar the last game. Bit of a skill matchup, Nautilus Alistar. We'll have to see how that one plays out, and then probably see a jungle come out here.
It's a little tougher for the side of Nautilus because if you hook in, the Alistar can kind of just push you back out, or even just knock you in the air, get around you, and push you in. Looks like we will see the Darius though. Hopefully, it goes a little better than Blippo did on it today, but Darius does tend to do a lot better.
Yeah, I actually tuned into that game for about the first 2 minutes, and I saw Blippo try to 1v3 at like the enemy raptor pit or something, and just like
if I see a ghost on this Darius and I see them pop it level 1, I might be a little concerned for Big Pharma here. But it looks like Ratlords will choose to go to the Kled in response. So will be interesting to see. We're probably going to see a lot of jungle bans out from both sides, as that's one of the major roles left up still. I do really like the side of the Ratlords right now. I'm definitely biased. We did see the Kled kind of do really well last game, and I personally love Nautilus. However, if this Ezreal does get picked out, it's a little tough to really protect him here. Obviously, Kled just wants to go in. So if you have everyone go in and Ezreal's kind of left behind, it gets a little spicy. Looks like we will see a Vex ban, and it looks like we will see a Lux ban on the side of Big Pharma. A lot of mid bans here. They want to try and
pinch the pool pretty heavy. I mean, we've seen this Lux ban consistently. We've seen this Vex ban consistently, but the Jarvan for Chasey B, again, there's not really too many ways to outplay a Cataclysm. Your only option is to flash. If you're Ezreal, you're kind of chilling. You have the shift. Should see jungle come out here.
Yeah, I'm curious what they pick here. They did really well, the Ratlords, when they're able to force a lot of early fights onto this bot lane. I'd be curious to see if they try and pick a character where they can kind of replicate that again and try and force something early. Looks like they're gonna opt for the
Ooh.
mid just so they can counter their jungle. They will go for the Nico.
Yeah, Nico, very. It's always fun when Nico's in the game. You know, the mind games, the counting the minions, tracking where they could be lurking, the pop blossoms. Assuming that is mid lane, I would.
I was trying to think, does Nico play jungle anymore? I know that was a thing when Nico changed for a little bit, but I haven't seen it jungle in a while.
I have neither, but what I am seeing is potentially a Darius jungle as Camille has been picked up. Now, I don't know. We don't know for sure. I mean, it could also be like a Camille mid. It could be a Darius mid. We'll have to see what this last pick is.
I don't know. I don't know where I'd rather it be. I know the Camille's top. Is Darius jungle? Okay.
Looks like it's Darius jungle as PP's delivery service called out in the chat. We'll have to see. Maybe this is just the absolute mind game from the Rat Lords. They saved their jungle for R5. They saw that it was going to be Darius jungle. What does Chasey B have in the bag? The Jarvan's taken away. Do they go back to the Skarner? Do they go onto one of their other picks? Couple of seconds left on the clock. Silas jungle. What a draft.
I am so lost for words, but I'm really excited to see this game. Silas only has like one ult really on the Orianna. Camille ult could be good, right? It doesn't have damage really, but it does. Oh wait, does it? Does Camille R have AP scaling?
Off the top of my head,
I feel like that was a thing.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I need to check this out.
But one thing to note as well is one thing to note is Alistar R is crazy scaling. It can do a lot of work. So pretty big R's, not in terms of like, you know, the Amumu R that you think of, you know, the like Seraphine, but there are a lot of impactful R's in other ways that Chasey B, who we're assuming has this Silas jungle. Didn't assume, like, I didn't think we were going to be going into game 3 seeing Darius versus Silas. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, as looks like they were maybe just talking a little bit about what's going where. We will get into game as soon as they allow us to.
So the only thing that I can kind of see is the Hextech ultimatum does mean that the basic attacks deal bonus magic damage. Otherwise, I don't think the Camille R is really going to do a lot of damage on the Silas. Could still be good. It's still good, you know, disrupting the enemy team. Otherwise, though, I'm really excited to see how this goes. The only thing is I don't think we're going to see a lot of early ganks from either jungles. Maybe the Silas, if Silas can get in maybe on mid lane. But I don't think we're going to see anything like we did game 1 where the Jarvan was able to make a level 2 play. So jungle side is probably going to be a little bit more farm heavy, at least early on. Especially on the side of the Darius, kind of really hard for you to go in unless you pop a summoner spell like Ghost. So we'll be interesting to see where these jungles opt a path, where they want to go and try and gank. Look at the lanes. It's a little tough, right? Because like how, you know, if the Nautilus goes in on this bot lane, I feel like Ashe can just volley and then just get escorted out. It's gonna be a little tough for them to try and force a kill. So I'm gonna be excited to see how this top lane goes, and maybe even the mid.
Now, of course, we aren't confirmed in where things are going. It could be Camille jungle, could be Darius. I mean, if they really want to get crazy, they could do Alistar jungle. It sounds really bad, but I'm not here to question. I think Locke could play the Alistar jungle.
You never know.
Well, I feel like the only thing I'm confident in is that Port is taking the Ashe on their side. And it is going to be the Silas jungle, and it is going to be the Darius jungle. So
everything else makes sense. Everything else goes where we expect it to go. I don't know why, but I love the idea that the player playing Orianna is no signal, because Orianna's a robot. The only thing though is that it kind of counteracts, like, oh, like if you're a robot, you should have signal. But I love that naming pairing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, no signal. I think they've done quite a bit of work, especially in that first game on the Action. I felt like they were kind of the ace in the hole, not playing Caitlyn, but they were doing work on the Orianna, which has some good delivery systems. You've got the Alistar, you've got the Camille, you got the Darius.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you Orianna ult on the Darius and pull them all in for Darius Q, that could be huge. The synergy's there. It's tough, but it's there. So if Darius gets a good pull into an Orianna ult, that's going to be massive. Especially if it can get landed on the Ezreal or the Nico. That will be huge for the side of Big Pharma.
The rest of the draft being picked up here. Got, of course, we'll have the 3-minute delay on the spectator, which gives you guys time to gamble. Of course, as I'm running the stream tonight, I don't get to partake. But this is game 3, and if there's one thing that people know about me when it comes to these LBLCS series, I am a firm believer that in these best of 3 environments, if it's 1-1 going into game 3, I will say with like 95% certainty that the side that won game 2 is the team that's going to win game 3. I think so much momentum, weighs such a factor in these series. So if I was betting, as EJK9 says, they will go all in with their 80 schmeckles for me, I would go all in on the TV Rat Lords. Again, this is not financial advice. I am not telling you what to do with your schmeckles. I am telling you what I hypothetically would do with schmeckles.
I don't know. Listen, we saw that Darius top didn't work this morning. We haven't seen Darius jungle go bad today. Darius jungle could have been what FlyQuest needed. So I don't know. We could see a huge upset, or not. I don't know if it would be an upset. I think Big Pharma is the stronger of the teams. Obviously with the seeding and how their record is. But Rattler's putting up a huge fight like we saw last game. I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, to just call it out in chat, right? If we're in a spot where our family's dinner depends on 80 schmeckles in a game 3 of a low budget LCS stream, I think we've got some other problems under the roof, right? And I'm not here to question.
We are low budget, so
we are low budget, but we hope that the viewers aren't. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the spectator delay. Last chance to get in on the betting. Again, Big Pharma on the blue side. We saw Big Poinker do work on this Alistar. We saw opportunities for Low Poink on the Camille, which you have said is one of their pocket picks. Port has had a really good series. That way was so tough last series. They had to burn everything to kill Port, and we saw them pop up on the Jhin as well. On the other side, Nico, Pop Blossoms. I'm going to be keeping an eye on I Drink Dilk. I think that's their name. Very, very cursed name, by the way. There's some cursed names on the Rat Lord side. Don't even get me started with the top laner. Again, it's just going to come down to how can these Nico Rs look and what Rs does Silas look to take. You got to take the right ult for the right fight. There are some good options, but it all comes down to this.
I feel like there's only one bad option. There's only one you should probably never take option, right?
Is that the Darius ult?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be, right?
Probably can't be great.
Well, here's my question, I guess. If Silas takes Darius's R, can he start stacking hemorrhage? Until he uses the R?
I'm not a huge Silas player. I know that we've got a couple Silas players in the chat. Maybe they could answer that question. At least so. In my mind,
I think hemorrhage is only a passive and it's not ult passive, so therefore no. Because I think you only get a passive like that if.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you get the. I'm assuming you probably get the resets if you get the kill with the guillotine. But as far as the actual bleed stacks, I don't think you would get that. 30 seconds on the delay. We will switch us over to in-game. Again, better early than late. And we will load up onto the Rift here for our last game of the night. Again, 2 seed on the left, 4 seed on the right. One of these teams will be going on to the quarterfinals to take on the winner of High Alert Coven and Team Backflip. If my memory serves correct, that is the quarterfinals matchup.
Yes. Also, EJK, what is a? Do you want the caster comment for Kled? Like, are we just commenting the champion Kled?
No, well, he also just typed that in, so like we.
I wanted to at least humor it.
Well, I mean, look, I can't stop you if you wanna. He just spent all of his his family's life savings on blue or on red side. So
well, maybe it's a caster compliment, but they're using Kled Smeckles. It's not normal Smeckles, but it's Kled specific Smeckles. Maybe these are like Smeckles that Kled got on the battlefield, so they're worth even more. So
see, now we've just got more shenanigans going on in the chat, right? And this is what happens when you entertain. It's like they feel like they're getting the attention they're looking for. These hooligans.
Are we at 105, 106, by the way?
Oh, you're a couple seconds ahead of me. I'm at 105, 106, 107, 108, 109.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Last game I kind of just figured it out like a minute in. It worked out well. But looks like we're gonna get started here. Looks like the normal 5-point. Nothing crazy this time. Looking at the mini map, it does look like there's a couple of missing members. They're all just hiding behind Silas there. And hiding behind Nautilus. Those champs do take up a lot of the mini map there, but otherwise we're gonna start normal. It does look like the Darius will path bot to top and the Silas opposite. So it'll be interesting to see. Are they going to try and make plays here? Maybe the Silas will try and gank bot lane after this pathing. Otherwise, interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, a couple things to note. First time this series that we're seeing the jungles go different directions, and also the first time that we've seen a leash come out. As I can probably imagine that the early Silas jungle clear isn't great. So Briar's Toe Cleaner trying to do him a solid, give over a couple of autos, hit the Q, doesn't cost any mana. But will potentially let Big Pharma know which side they started on, as a lot of trading going on here in the mid lane. Looks like it's going the way of the Nico, and now we're back to the top side for more trading.
Yeah, this time it is, the Kled versus Camille that we saw last game. Obviously, we know from last game that the Kled did really well into the Camille. Be interesting to see what happens this game, as it looks like Scarl might go for a run here soon. Otherwise, everything's kind of normal. The Silas clear is a little slower than the Darius clear, which we kind of knew. Also, one of the chatters did point that out earlier on. I just don't know if Darius can really force a play onto Kled, especially without Ghost. But Kled will be losing Scarl here, and probably the next auto attack from the Camille. Yeah. Otherwise, nothing really exciting happening.
No, wave is coming in towards the Kled, so should, in theory, be safe. There's always the risk of a dive, I suppose, but that is also a very risky proposition into a Kled that can instantly get a half health bar. Hawkshot is going to come through. Does not look like it caught where the Silas was. Didn't get the blue buff. So they are pinging on the way. We'll see if there's a play to be made here. Big Pointer potentially walking up to get some vision. Got to be careful.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to opt to try and get this the crab. Looks like we'll just get one crab each for each jungler. Nothing crazy there. Darius does finish first. Silas very soon after.
Oh,
maybe Chasey wants to look for something, but Darius is on the flank of Nico here. Could be the first gank from Darius.
Oh, and gets the right prediction. Flash comes through, but the bleed is enough, and they're looking to force a play down here on the bot side. Big Pointer does go low, does have to flash away, but that's going to be first blood over to the side of Big Pharma, and now Lil Point trying to do work up into this. Kled does pop the ignite. Kled looking to go back in, playing a little frisky.
That was a little dangerous. I mean, Camille doesn't have flash, right? So I guess you kind of can. Really risky though, but good trying to get the Scarl back. And good,
looking to come back around. Chasey B flashes in, gets the connect onto Big Pointer. Does not have enough damage. Massive hook there from Alice. Does connect onto Port. Gets low as well. Barrier has to get popped. Turret shots are going through onto the Silas, so they're not going to be able to continue this. And now we're back to the top side where resetting Kled, able to get a nice trade. Should be able to get this wave all the way in and force that teleport. Or they stick around. Low health.
Yeah, this bot lane is really low. They really want to try and catch this wave that's coming into them soon. But I think it does mean that you're kind of just seeding the dragon away, right? Because even if you win the fight, you don't have enough health to save the dragon. Silas is opting to go for the jungle instead of backing. So it looks like neither team will really go for this early Drake, at least with the health bars looking, where they're at currently. Looks like Super Oranges will just push and probably look for a back here. I don't think Locke is going to be able to really stop that. So nothing can really happen here. Dare's just going to continue farming. Sal's going to go top lane. Maybe we see a fight for grubs. Other than that, nothing really exciting. Does look like Nico is hurting the Orianna just a little bit. Do know that the Orianna is a little bit ahead in XP and a little bit ahead in farm. So could look for a 6 onto the Nico. Right here, Orianna does have 6. Might look for a play with Darius nearby, but opts not to. Just wants to clear the farm and probably push for vision.
Yeah, right now we don't see either jungler making a huge move, as we do see Briar Cleaner looking to go all in. Hexite Ultimatum is available for the Camille. Not going to use it. Could see a fight here around the grubs. We see Locke coming up towards this top lane. Does have the first move, and maybe a little point trying to bait him in here. Q doesn't connect. That might have actually saved the Kled's life here. As if that connected, I think he would have gone all in.
Yeah, it does have the Silas nearby, but it does not have the health to really fight it, especially into the Darius there. So, kind of worse in their favor. Able to just get the farm. Looks like Camille's just going to back. Probably just CP right back in. But now the issue is that the Skull Crab goes on the side of the Darius. And I think with the Orianna shove and with the top shove, they might be able to just start it. Looks like they're opting not to. Might just go for more farm.
Yeah, and they will. Actually, that ward goes down just in time. Darius looking to potentially invade. Now they're back on the grubs. Just should be able to just pick these 3 up, as I Drink Dilk looking to maybe aggress onto no signal. No further follow-up.
Yeah. I'm curious. The JCB might be looking bot side here. Obviously, they do catch the Alistar on the vision here. They do have a wave under the turret. So Ezreal kind of wants to just get that CS, try and get the gold in them. Silas is here, though. They might be able to find something onto Big Pointer here. Especially knowing that the Void Grubs are down. Ooh, unable to
Alistar is hit up by the hook. Does not have the flash. Kill should be going over. Given to the Silas in the end. And we'll have to see if they look to go for the dragon here in response. Locke is booking it down here. No 6s on either side as we watch a little bit of a top lane fight. Level 7 kicks over for the Kled, who's about to get their Scarl back up.
Yeah, with Locke.
Oh, massive pop blossom here. Does connect. Shockwave is thrown as well. No signal. Does have the flash. They're trying to save it as long as possible. Can they survive? Yes, they do, but it's at the expense of their flash.
Ooh, Orianna getting that low does mean it's going to be a lot tougher for them to go for Dragon. The minion outplay.
The minion outplay. They thought that Nico had walked away, but they fell for the bait. Briarstone Cleaners, nice trade in the top side, and 2-1 goes our kill count.
Yeah, one minion just joins the fight. Doesn't really recognize that the extra
Locke
minion
is here.
Out of nowhere.
Massive Ashar does connect, and Silas is looking to run down. Does not have the 6, while Darius does. There's a dunk. Make it a second. Double kill over to Locke, and they should be able to pick up this dragon here.
Darius jungle has 3 kills already. It might be looking good. Looks like Camille looking for some pressure.
Can the Scarl reset come through? Oh, it was just a second away from coming back online, but that is a solo kill on the top side. 4-2, and the dragon going over to Big Farma.
Ezreal is coming through, but will slightly miss the Camille. Does look like, Big Farma here able to get a lot of pressure, able to get a lot of these early objectives that they were needing last game that weren't able to get.
Silas on vision here. They are looking to invade. There are 3 members. Alistar R is grabbed by the Silas. JCB has to flash away. The invade coming through. Darius being a little bit of a bully. Going to come through and take this blue buff. You will take these small victories.
Yeah, and remember last game, Camille was put really far behind early game and wasn't really able to side lane. But now with that early kill onto the Kled, might be in a better spot this game to really push out for Big Pharma here. So Ratlords gotta try and find what they can. Silas does now obviously have 6. Does not have ult though and doesn't have his flash, so will be a little weak for the next couple of minutes here. So right now they just need to farm up and try and get a pick maybe on the Orianna if you can without that flash.
Locke is here. They are just comboing very well. Alistar blocking that flash hook attempt, and this kill should just be gifted over. They're trying to give it to the Ash. Port able to get their first kill on the board. And now it's 5-2. Chasey B looking mid lane, trying to maybe look with a Spirit Pop Blossom. It is going to connect with the flash. Shockwave comes through as well. It's going to be a 1-for-1 in the end. Well played there by No Signal.
Yeah, I think Dill tried flashing to the other side to get out of the Orianna ult, was just too close to where the edge of it did clip them, did bring them back, did mean that No Signal was able to pick up a kill there. It does have TP for both mid laners, so more than likely we'll just both TP back to lane. Otherwise, a little bit of skirmishing happening in the bot lane here, but nothing much. A little bit of skirmishing in the top, as always. Otherwise, Silas, JCB is trying to invade, but I don't know if you can do that into a Darius that's this far ahead of you.
No, he's able to take away the blue buff, not much more. Or we're assuming that he got the blue buff. Grubs are coming up here, though. Might be a little difficult as the low point going in onto the Kled. Darius looking to maybe look for a dive here. Scarl is popped. Darius lurking in the shadows. This wave is coming in. Got to be careful diving a Kled or diving a Kled. It's a lot like Poppy where that unsuspecting dive comes through. Scarl nearly back up. If they're going to make this play, they have to make it quick. Kled is about to tick back over, and Silas is resetting though.
If Silas leaves, Kled could definitely die. It looks like they don't realize it though. They didn't see the Silas, so and without that knowledge, they choose to back off. Diving the Kled, like you said, is a really tough job. And it looks like Darius will just start the Void Grubs again, try and get 6 grubs.
Yeah, Nautilus is up here, maybe looking for a flank onto the Camille. Does not have the hook shot, but Kled just got taken off the Scarl. Probably don't want to look to force this fight. And it should just be Grubs given over to the side of Big Pharma. Again, all the objectives this time. Last game, it was the TV Rat Lords as they're maybe looking to go in on Big Point Core here. They are going to connect with the Silas damage, but Shockwave does get connected here. Nico is coming, though. Big Shockwave in response, and now that's going to be a massive Pop Blossom. Connects onto Little Point. Now Kled is coming in over the top. There's no one to stop there for the Orianna. Can Camille get out there on the top side? We're just going to come back to the bot. 3-man running in. Darius trying to do so much work. They flash in, get the guillotine. They are going to drop, though, in the end. Shut down over to the Nico, and now the Kled is flashing in, trying to do the damage. Can they connect? Oh, massive save there from Little Point, who's going to save the day for their Orianna, and they are both going to get out 9-5, and it looks like all the Grubs in the end go over to Big Pharma.
Rattlers were so close to getting so many picks that fight, but just unable to clean it out. Had the Camille super low, Camille was able to flash away, or not flash, but just E away. So close to getting the Orianna, was just saved. Really good fight from both teams, but it does mean that Low Point here is 3-0 and does have the Trinity Force now. So that will be a tough matchup for Kled to really hold out.
Yeah, item versus components, always a tough deal there on the top side. Gold lead about 2,000, actually 2,000 on the dot. Certainly good for Big Pharma, not unmanageable for the Rat Lords, but you gotta play it slow. You have this dragon coming up. You're probably not really in a spot to fight this one as Ezreal trying to get this plate. Alistar doing their best to deny it, and it looks like they succeed.
Yeah, a lot of armor on this Alistar early on. With the Ezreal, without your item, it's just so tough to really punch through that armor. And, Locke doing an excellent job, has just been down this bot lane so many times, just making sure that this Ezreal can't run this game.
Massive catch there from I Drink Dill. Gonna play it safe, not look to go all in with the Pop Blossom. Saving it for this dragon potentially, but Orianna's low. They're gonna have to either reset and TP, or they're gonna be at a health disadvantage for this fight. We see Chasey B is taking that Alistar ult. It will be really tanky in this fight around this dragon. It looks like they don't want to give this up.
Yeah, they want to try and stop the dragon stacking early on before it gets way too out of hand. And with the Orianna low, it's kind of the best time for them to do it right now. They have the Kled kind of roaming down.
And Chantress Arrow does connect onto the Nautilus. They are looking to go all in. JCB goes in onto the Astros. Nobody there to peel Big Point. They're trying to do their best on the backside. Flash away from Port with the barrier. Locke is also low. Can they get the kill? No, they cannot. Port able to pick up the kill. And now Kled is coming in, but is going to connect onto the Alistar. Not a whole lot left in the tank. Nico is coming. They do have the flash, and that's going to be a massive flash. That's all the 3 people. They are Darius and Ash low. Shockwave comes through, connects onto 3, and they are falling one by one. Alistar picks up a kill. Orianna picks up a kill. Cleanse onto the Ezreal. Can they survive? No, they cannot. Briar trying to do the best they can onto the Darius, but it is 1v3. I don't think they're going to be able to survive this one, but they might be able to pick up a kill. In the process, they cannot. Alistar just keep them off this Orianna, and that's going to be ultimately a 4-4-1 in favor of Big Pharma.
And this whole time, Camille's just been pushing top, had the TP ready, but never needed to use it. Got tier 1 and pushed all the way up to tier 2. This Camille got so much gold, and this Orianna got so much worth out of that shockwave, able to group them up and take so many of them out right before, the fight went too long. Yeah, that was a good ult from Kled to try and salvage the fight, but they were just unable to get the picks when they needed to. Big Farma showing that they can team fight well.
Yeah, Big Pharma finds themselves up about 5,000. Objective bounties are live. They are in a great spot to close out this game. TV Ratlord's got to find a way to wrestle back control. They do catch the Orianna here, or that's actually the Ashe. A lot of damage onto Port. Does not have the flash, does not have the barrier. Should be able to just fall here, and that is a big solo kill in response. Forgot to count the minions.
Yeah, gotta try and get the goal where you can. Sadly, it wasn't a shutdown, if you will, but it is still a huge gold over to the side of the Sneeko, who's been doing a lot of work with their ultimates here. It's so tough because you really got to try and take them out before they can get this Orianna ult, get the Ashe, scaling with the auto attacks, you get the Darius for the hemorrhage. So it looks like they might try and convert it to Rift.
They're looking to fight with the numbers advantage. There is no Ashe here. 4v5. They are looking to go in, and the Pop Blossom is going to connect onto 2 members. Camille is getting super low on the backside. They do have the Hexagon Domain, which does kill the Darius, and Chasey B is low, but that could just be a Rift Herald here. Ashe is going to walk back out here. It is still 4v5 though, and these are the looks they need. Silas low.
They might be able to look. They don't have the Ashe R though. They do have Orianna R. But I think they're just going to opt to say no thank you. Looks like they're going to send the Camille bot lane to try and get this. They do opt to send the Kled to go match it. Might be able to hold, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, with those 6 grubs, Camille kind of just shredding it. Double teleport comes through, but that's just going to get canceled there by the kill from Lil Poink. And now Alice may be getting caught out here by Big Poinker. The E trying to tick does connect. We have a split fight here. Alisar just doing so much peel. That's a clone. Don't hit that. Ultimately doesn't amount to anything. Still have a 4K gold lead. You're still very much in control here as Big Pharma, but signs of life from the Ratlords.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is that they just can't really stop this Camille from splitting now. Because you have so many of these fights where Camille's just holding on to TP and says, wait, if we're winning this fight without me being there, we get so much side lane pressure. So it's really going to be on the Ratlords to try and figure out how do we answer to this problem. Do we send the Kled up every time? Do we send the Nico there? I don't think you can because Nico's been such a huge help in all these fights, especially with these Pop Blossoms. I feel like you just have to start sending this Kled to go answer the Camille sooner.
Yeah, it's really tough. You got the 6 grubs on the Camille. You mentioned how the split push power is so potent on something like Camille. In this game, unlike game number 2, they are online. They have that Triforce. They're working towards that Ravenous Hydra. Lil Poink is a problem, and we see no signal hiding out.
This could be dangerous for Nico. Looks like she'll be okay. You gotta be careful though, because if this Nico is taken out, I feel like you lose so much of your fighting ability as Ratlords. So Nico just has to kind of catch the wave from afar from Orianna. Looks like Big Pharma is gonna opt to try and control a lot of this bottom jungle. Really do want to continue dragon stacking when the dragon comes back up. But otherwise, we'll just keep the pressure on.
Yeah, next dragon in a minute 45. We'll see if TV looks to fight at this dragon or if they look to do or die at the soul. This time we've got what dragon do we have? An Infernal, of course. The cinders are on the map. Definitely would be really good for Nico. Would be really good for Silas. We'll have to see if they find an angle to maybe fight this dragon, because it all comes down to that Nico R and Silas. I mean, we saw a massive Nico Pop Blossom in that last team fight by the dragon, and it was a good Pop Blossom, better Shockwave. We'll see if they can turn it around this next fight.
Yeah. I mean, this time you could always try and get you could always try and get the Shockwave onto the Silas. If you're saying, oh, the Shockwave for them is doing so much work, why not for us as well? And that is kind of the best ult for Silas to grab. Silas has not picked an ult yet. I'm curious to see what they go with here. Otherwise, they're just gonna hold the mid turret here.
Oh, they catch out Port. Massive hook there by the Nautilus. Do they look? Kledar is coming through. So many ultimates getting popped onto this Ashe. Chasey B trying to go in and just kill this AD carry right away, but Locke is wreaking havoc on the backside. Alisar trying to peel off this Kled, peel off this Silas, and Silas should just be going down to the guillotine here. Does not have the reset. Double kill for Locke. Super Oranges has to shift away. They're trying to kill this Darius. Kled doing as much as they can. They are able to pick up the kill. Indian Hextech Ultimatum. Can they get the Skull back up? No, they cannot. Low Point got a rampage. Ultimately ends up a 3-for-2 on the side of Big Pharma and drag up in 20 seconds.
I feel like that was such a big fight for Team Volatility Rattlords, except towards the end they just started focusing.
Oh, look at that pop on something! How did they get 3 people? And Super Orange is able to get onto 2 people. That's a massive shot there. Onto no signal. Big Pointer should fall here as well. Anything away from dying. Lock of the Solari able to save them. Little Point able to get out. But what a masterful bait there from the Nico. And now they have signs of life.
Yeah, they just need to try and stop them from getting this dragon here. It looks like Alice will do a good job at trying to find the Camille and just hold her down.
They hit the Q onto the Camille. They have JCB here. Can they connect? Oh, and that is a massive either from the Silas. Can they stop him? Hookshot Barrage does come through. Alistar over the top, going to give their life for their carry. JCB able to pick up the kill, but now we have Darius coming here. Objective bounties are falling off. These fights are going the way of Team Volatility.
I feel like they have to do this dragon fast, so get it done while the Alistar is dead.
Alice just gets destroyed by this Orianna, by the Camille and the Darius rather, and now JCB has to get out. They gotta be careful here.
Yeah, the only ult they really have is the.
Oh, Darius is just getting junked here. Does the True Shot Rush connect? It does connect, and a massive EQ, and Port does get hit up by the Silas, and that's going to be another killing spree over to this Nico, and that is going to be a dragon potentially 4v2. Orianna Camille trying to push out that bot wave. They do have the shockwave. They have the Hextech Ultimatum. They could have a big fight here. Ball is on the Camille. They are looking for it. Do they connect on it? 3,000 on the dragon. Rift Herald is going into the mid lane. Kill objective bounty before they fell off. They weren't able to pick that up on the dragon, and look at that goal down to 2,500, and they're looking to take this Rift Herald mid and maybe crack that tower. Don't think it's going to go all the way down. Kled is riding it. They're going to have to get all the way out afterwards.
Such a long fight. So many ults used there. Oh, Astral coming through does land on the Ezreal. Did they look with it? I want to say no with the Nautilus covering them. It is kind of a big cooldown to lose right before the Baron. But otherwise, huge fights from the Rattlords really pulling this game back. Oh, looks like they might go and get on
big point, little double point action, catching out the Alistar does pop the R. Nico coming in. They do have the Pop Blossom, and that looks like it might be 2 people going down. Silas goes down, but that is 2 for 1. Buying so much time with that Alistar R, and that's gonna make doing a Baron take a whole lot harder.
Every time I see these Pop Blossoms, like, alright, who's dying? These Pop Blossoms going up so well, getting them so much value. I feel like now the Silas, if you can just tank up and just survive long enough, the Pop Blossoms and the Ezreal's Barrage are just gonna clean up the rest of the fight. Yeah,
I mean, I Drink Dilk. We saw it on the Kennen, those massive impact Rs. I mean, a very similar kind of playstyle on the Nico here. You can take the player off the Kennen, but you can't take the Kennen out of the player. Doing so much work with these Pop Blossoms. Has that teleport up, pushing on this top wave. And slowly but surely, TV has been able to claw their way back into this game. They got that dragon. They stopped the soul stacking. They've shrunk the gold lead. Again, Big Pharma still have the tools to win these fights, but slowly but surely, it's turned the other way.
Yeah, I feel like Big Pharma, they're just getting a little too impatient. They keep trying to force fights. You know, they're like, oh, we have a pick on the Silas. Oh, we have a pick on this person. But unless you know that the Pop Blossom is down, unless you know that Nico's not there, it's just so tough to really force these fights. I mean, you're throwing these Ash Arrows out, you're throwing these Shockwaves out, but it's just not connecting on who you need to connect on.
Yeah, we see this battle for vision control around the Baron. We see Darius just invading here on the bot side. Have to be careful as JCB likely going to walk out that direction. No threat onto the Baron at the moment, and Nico is hiding, probably up in that top side somewhere. Yeah, you can see on the minimap the one minion
just warded. I think we may know who it is.
We have a numbers advantage bot. Locke might be getting caught out here. We have the Hextech Ultimatum perhaps. Low Point getting chunked out here, but Darius gets hit up by the death charge into the Nautilus ult. Can they pick him off? JCB has the guillotine. They look to connect over the top, and that's going to be a flash over kill on the jungler, and they look to go for the Baron here. You got about 35 seconds here.
Yeah, you still have TP on the side of Nico here.
Oh, what a hook. Max range onto the Alistar. Darius R is active. Port is low. Not going to be killed off, but do have to pop the barrier.
They might be able to get mid-turret here, but it's just so tough because this Ashe has such a good job at clearing these waves, and Zoriana with their QW as well. Unless you're able to get one of those down, and you're really unable to get this turret.
Oh, what a flash in. Camille going over the top. They call out the Ezreal. There's not enough reinforcements. Nico is not here. Briar Soclear is trying to kill on the other side. They are to pick up the tower. JCP is now here in response. Oh, and look at this teleport now coming in from the Nico. They aren't going to be. They're going to pick up the clip. That's going to be a double kill over to Lil Poink. And now JCP trying to do what they can. Triple kill over to this Camille. And now all that is left is the Nico and the quadra kill for Camille. Can they get the penta? Pop Blossom comes through. Does a lot of damage. They flash over, trying to do what they can.
Damage.
E not going to connect, but it's still a pentakill for Lil Poink on this Camille.
The Camille's just so strong. The TP from Nico is nice, but it was just too late. By then, the Camille's already running the show and already taking on so many members that by the time that Nico gets there, it's just too little too late. The Camille just runs through the rest of the team, nearly one-shot the Nico with their Q true damage there. Just so much damage on the side of this Camille. Is completely different character from last game. Huge fight from Big Farma. Maybe the Barrage does it a little too early. Otherwise, though, this will be a Baron for Big Farma, and it will turn the tide of this game yet again.
Yeah, is a Baron, about 5,000 now on the gold lead in favor of Big Farma. This isn't the sole point, though. They did pick up that dragon the last time, so they can look to sack this, but they're coming out here as if they want to fight. You don't have your flashes. You have it on the Ezreal, but Ashe has flash, No Signal has flash, Darius has flash. So if they're going to win this fight, they have to execute it perfectly on the red side.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the best time to fight a team of Baron is right when they get it, so they lose it just as fast. But I feel like if they just shove Camille in a lane with TP, it's gonna be so tough to deal with. You don't want a Camille that's gonna be in your base with TP during a drag fight. Looks like they will try and death bush here. I feel like if you get caught out, you might be in a bit of trouble from a shockwave. But looks like they're going to go.
And there's the Cledar. We are finding out here, flashing from Alice, and they're looking to go all in onto the backside. Keep eyes on that. Nico does hit the Pop Blossom onto two members here, but these health bars are getting so low for the Rat Lords. This is their do or die fight. First off goes the Nautilus. Chasey B trying to do what they can on the backside, but that's going to be three members dying, and all that is left is the Nico and the Ezreal. Don't get the dragon, don't get the fight, but Big Pharma should be able to pick up this dragon here in response, but they are actually looking to just push this mid lane. They're looking to just end the game here.
Yeah, this is a huge way for the mid lane. If they can just protect it from the Nico, I think Ezreal needs it back. You need to go protect your base.
Yeah, turret goes down, inhibitor quick to follow. This is a big wave with those 6 grubs. They're going to have to try and hold this off as best as they can. Double root does come through from the Nico. They're trying to hold it off. Low Point just tanking that turret at the moment. It is half. It is below half. Owls are doing what they can. It is now or never. Do or die. If you want to save this season for the Rat Lords, they are doing what they can, but Big Pharma does not care. They're just hitting the Nexus. They're trying to end this game, and it looks like they will be able to successfully win the series. Big Pharma on top.
Such an intense last game. Both teams just fighting for it. I mean, it's so tough because, you're fighting for the season. This is what you've worked for. Big Pharma ended up coming on top. They said, listen, we know the game 2 is a little tough. We know that Camille wasn't able to do much that game. They were put behind. But with the one ban on the cannon, Camille just opens up and is able to make so many of these plays happen. Yes, you have these Pop Blossoms that did so much damage. But if you just get one good fight on Big Pharma, you end the game.
Yeah, what a game. What a series that we got to watch here tonight. Big ups to both Big Pharma and the TV Rat Lords. Back and forth all the way there up until the very end. Definitely was a fun one to watch. Ultimately, Big Pharma going to be moving on to the next round of the playoffs, where again, they will be taking on the winner of High Alert Coven and Team Backflip. So we'll have to wait and see when that match is going to be getting played. For now, I am losing my voice, but if anyone from Big Pharma would like to come on and do a brief interview, you'll probably be doing a lot of the heavy talking, but if anyone's watching and you would like to come, feel free to drop into the community chat in the Discord. I will pull you up and we'll ask you some questions.
The interesting to know is that if Team Backflip do beat High Alert Coven, that would be two quarterfinals that are just commercial B versus commercial Bs. So it'll be interesting because then a lot of this will just be commercial B trying to get this top spot into the semifinals and into the finals. Will be interesting to see if it'll be a double matchup like that. Obviously that doesn't obviously require Backflip does beat Coven. which is going to be a really exciting matchup, which I believe will hopefully be on Sunday, but we shall see. And welcome to the call.
Hello.
Yeah, Lil Point brought up to the broadcast booth. Congratulations on that 2-1 series win, fresh off crazy game 3 where you pick up a pentakill on Camille. I guess we'll just start at the end. Tell me like what the comms were like and what was going on during that fight where you pick up a penta.
Oh, well, it was a little chaotic. The comms were very scattered. I mean, I started yelling penta after I got 3, obviously. But yeah, wow, what a series. That was very, very tense.
What were the comms like after game 2? So obviously you won game 1, you switched it up. You went from this traditional early game comp that just steamrolled throughout the game 1, and then game 2 you went more for those like global ults, didn't work so much. What kind of went through the thought process of re-picking the Camille and picking this team fighting comp around it?
Well, for starters, picking the Camille. Actually, my brother messaged me in League. He was watching, and he just messaged me 2, 8, and 6. And so I had to ego it a little bit. I had to run it back and play it a little bit better. So that's what happened there. But no, post game 2 comms, something our team has actually struggled quite a bit with is after a loss. It's always tough to post game get into the right headspace and come back and be positive and playing well. But I think we did a fantastic job this time of keeping things positive and being forward looking. So that was really fun.
Yeah, that's always one of the tough things, like especially after you win game 1. I mean, one of the things I mentioned was like those 3-game series. I always feel like the team that wins game 2 rides that momentum, rides that like do or die vibes into game 3. But you guys bucked that trend, picked up the 2-1 series win, and you're now moving on to the quarterfinals. Looking at your next matchup, you've got either Hylert Coven, who are the 1 seed in Group A, or a potential rematch against Team Backflip, who were in your guys' group. Yeah, is there anyone in particular you're looking to face in the playoffs? Any rematches you'd like to have, or are you just looking to just win the whole thing and it doesn't matter who's on the way?
So our big match this season was against the Hylert Henchmen. And I think it would be really fun to run back that game because we lost. That was our first loss as a team. We're a new team to, the competitive scene. So I think we've grown a lot as a team as the season's gone on. And so having the opportunity to play that team again would be really fun.
That would require me to lose my next match, but I do admire the want to face them.
Well, everyone's gunning for the crown, of course.
I'm excited to play against anyone.
Yeah, they did win last season, sadly to me,
They were very good when we played them. So yeah, best of luck against them.
Yeah,
thank you. Best of luck to your opponents as well. Obviously neither of us have faced Hylert Coven. Team Backflip is obviously a force to be reckoned with as well. There's a reason they're in the playoffs to begin with. So good luck on your next match as well. And hope to see you guys later in the playoffs. Maybe we'll see you at finals. You never know.
Absolutely. That would be pretty fun. That would be a good time.
Yeah, any other last call, any shout outs, any floor is yours basically. Go ahead.
I don't think anything big. We were nothing crazy. I'm happy with how we played that. Good games to the other team. Played well. That second game definitely threw us for a loop.
Yeah, keeping it nice and humble here to wrap us up. A big series win for Big Pharma. Again, the action is going to continue the rest of this weekend. Tomorrow, again, we are going to be bringing back the booth for a big playoff episode into a booth cast. Don't believe we have 100%. Maybe we're keeping a surprise what game we're going to be streaming tomorrow. But we are going to be doing the booth tomorrow evening, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. And then big day on Sunday. We've got about 47 different playoff matches. The entire financial bracket are playing on that day. So do keep your eyes peeled out for those. For Full Metal, for Lil Point, I am Les Force signing us off here. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will hopefully catch you tomorrow.